right, everyone. It's the Thursday night forum, and we're all in good spirits. I hope we've got our 12th win of the season. We're bang on track here. 57.5% of my complicated algorithm, Tony.
You're so full of shit, Ray. It's all
We're
about
bang on track.
position.
We're bang on track. We're bang on track. Where we need to be to get
Are we
into the high
fourth yet?
60s.
Are we fourth? That's all that matters.
Goal difference. But for Lacazette, we would have been fourth tonight. But for Lacazette. But, Lacazette did have a hand in the goal as well. So here we go. So welcome, Alonso. Thanks for joining.
Hi, guys.
Tony. And Stan.
Hello.
And we might have a couple more people dropping in. Who knows what might happen. Stan, what was your initial thoughts from the escapades of the team tonight?
It's a bit like, when you play Monopoly and you get sent to jail, but then on your next goal, you throw a double six and you're straight out again. It's like that. We got out of jail big time. That was a roller coaster. I mean, they don't do anything. We don't do anything by halves, do we? That doesn't seem to be the Arsenal way, just doing it the easy way. And you know what? There's a time when we wouldn't have won that game. It would have been gone. We would have given up the ghost. But the most important thing is, and there's so much to unpack. I mean, I said this earlier when I was on a Burkett Wonderland. And if you are here and you were listening to a Burkett Wonderland, you're probably going to hear the same stuff come out of my mouth. But it was like one of them Clint Eastwood spaghetti western movies: the good, the bad, and the ugly. It was all in there.
Yeah, all in there. And listen, we will have a lot to unpack. Alonso, your initial thoughts as well. And as I say here, Wolves 0, Arsenal 1. 1-0 to the Arsenal. 1-0 to the Arsenal. 1-0 to the Arsenal. And by the way, before we get deeply into it,
we don't want to hear that, Ray.
Well, I gotta wish my nephew a happy birthday. His birthday today. So
He's not listening.
Happy birthday, Adam. He'll be watching it on replay.
All right, Adam. Happy birthday, mate.
Happy birthday, Adam.
16-year-olds religiously watch our podcast. Maybe not. Alonso, your thoughts on the game?
Well, when I saw the lineup, right, a good thing that we're starting to see Miguel Arteta starting 11. We didn't have that last year at all, so it's good to see some constant.
Pretty easy when we got 14 players.
And so, it's good to see that. But yeah, I mean, like Stan said, you never know what team we're going to get. We either play defensively or on an attack some games, but it's a win and win. Win's a win, right? We had to play dirty sometimes to get that win, and so yeah, I mean, 1 to the Arsenal it is, right?
1-0 to the Arsenal is. A win is a win is a win. But Tony, you can tell us how good Wolves were. Tell us how good a team. Wolves are a good team.
I told you it'd be a challenge in 2 games.
Yeah. Wolves drew with Chelsea at home. They took Liverpool to the 95th minute. Liverpool beat them by 1-0 in the 95th minute. We got it in the 25th minute, Tony. And, they were beaten 1-0 by City in a strangely familiar thing that happened to Martinelli. Jimenez was sent off at City. Very, very similar circumstances. But I'm actually wondering about the legitimacy of handing out 2 yellow cards in 2 seconds. Is that even possible? Is that legal? Can Arsenal challenge that?
They can challenge it, but it doesn't seem like we ever win any of those appeals we file. So might as well not mess with it.
Stan, that's ridiculous. Martinelli gets 2 yellow cards in the space of 5 seconds.
Just before I get into that, I just want to shout out to BX Gunner 81, who's twins. He's got twins. They were 16 yesterday, so he's being kept busy, man. I bet they give him the right run around. I wonder if he's got. Let us know in the chat, BX. You've got 2 boys, 2 girls, or 1 of each.
So it is. It's Sweet 16 week. My nephew 16. BX got 2 twins who just turned 16, and Gary's just turned 16 as well.
What?
Gary's 51, right?
What was that? Did you say
I
Gary?
am not 51.
I
I
thought
don't
you
even know
said
what you're
Gary
talking
touched
about.
the 16. Yeah.
Turn.
Stan?
So I just thought what Ray
No,
said.
Stan? Don't
Look,
let
I
me
come
reach
up.
through
Sorry.
this phone.
Gary, you're late. I don't know who Per Mertesacker is on this panel, but they'll be administering the fines for lateness.
Try me.
Oh, you're like Ozil. You're like Ozil. Okay.
Gosh. I heard you trying to make excuses for the
Let's
two-
see how many
two yellow
minutes has
cards.
Ray let Gary wait, and how many minutes has Gary bet? Not very many. It's all
What
on
are you
Ray's
trying
side.
to say?
I had to,
What are you
I had to
trying to
reboot my computer, so
All right. That's the excuse from page number 2. That's good. That's good.
I heard
That's
you
on
making. I heard you
page
making.
one.
Heard you making excuses about
That's page one.
the two
excuse
yellow
too,
cards.
Not making excuses. How does a player get administered 2 yellow cards in quick succession,
Because he
Gary?
commits 2 yellow card infractions. That's how it works usually.
I
He
don't know. I
committed
think
2
the
yellow
referee
card infractions.
quite easy for the referee just to pick one of those 2 and be done with it and move on with his day. But the referee wanted to be. Set
You know
there.
what? You
He
got to
was
be
making up
you got to
for
be
earlier in the
stupid
games
to
when he
one
wasn't giving
attack
out
the
yellows.
guy off the pitch and then chase down the guy with the ball and knock him over. I mean that's dumb. Sorry, it's
Yeah,
dumb.
I agree with Gary there. It's us putting ourselves in stupid positions.
And you know what? He
instead of
had
a
enough time to
referee.
get in front of him. He had enough time to play the ball. He had a lot of time to do a lot of things. He basically ran him over, and he didn't really have to do that because he actually got there. He actually was it actually looked good, like he might actually get there to make a play, and he didn't do it.
Yeah.
It's like hello to everybody in the chat. I don't even think I said hello.
Yeah,
A
you're
lot of
late.
people in there. Yeah, stop.
You're
Let's-
fired as your Walmart door greeter, Gary.
Well, listen, Martinelli, it's fair to say, is one of Gary's favorite players. So Gary is keeping it real here. Martinelli lost it, and there was a little bit of red mist there.
Yeah,
We'll
and
get it.
it just epitomizes the state of the team. Right? If this was a properly run team, he would know better than to do that. I mean, it's just
No.
yes, he would.
We're going to go again with this. Everybody is responsible for their own actions on the field, Gary.
It epitomizes your leadership in this team.
No, everybody
It
has.
does.
Everybody
It's a
has
trickle
code of
down.
conduct.
It's a trickle down. You see it from your leadership, and these guys are young. So if they do the exact same thing, guess what? It looks worse. And that's what we saw today. We saw that.
Okay, so if you don't do the dishes at home, Gary,
I don't even know what that
it's the
comparison is. But
the
did you
team's
see?
fault. It's not your fault.
Did you see one of your leaders in the team basically just grab a guy and pull him down?
Yeah.
That's
And
the leadership on this squad, and that's been told to us. So if that's the leadership on this squad, and you're expecting the youth to look up to them, that's what you get. This is what you get.
So you're saying Martinelli is not responsible for what he's done on the pitch?
He is responsible. That's why he's out.
Okay.
But I'm just saying it epitomizes the state of the team
Okay.
because he's looking up to people who do the exact same thing.
Yes, and if you're looking at Granit Xhaka as one of the senior leadership stand, he's not one of the better examples.
Granit Xhaka, no. I mean,
Granit Xhaka.
has Edu got Vince McMahon's telephone number and speed dial? Because WrestleMania's coming up soon, and I think Granit Xhaka would do really, really well in the WWE.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Or the Super Bowl's coming up as well this weekend. Maybe I think Xhaka would be really good. The most quarterback sacked in the season? Granit Xhaka. He'd be right in there. There's 2 career moves right there for him. Do you know what I mean? That we could pass him off to. But
yeah,
going back to this red card, right? In the letter of the law, the ref, the ref, he didn't do anything outside of the rules, the referee. And Martinelli, he doesn't, we're Arsenal. We don't get favours, right? We don't get favours from the refs. So we should never put ourselves in a situation that gives them the easy choice. However, I think the correct way to referee that decision is when Martinelli brings down their player for the second defence. I would have liked to see the referee give him a yellow card, but also say to him, look, I saw what happened. I'm not blind, you know. I saw that. You do something, anything like that again, you're going to get another yellow card. So it's up to you. But I'm watching you now. That for me would have been a better refereeing, because quite early on in the game, there was a foul by one of their players and the ref let it go. And the commentator came out and said, well, you know, it's early in the game.
Yeah, that was like 5 minutes in.
I hate that shit. A foul's a foul, whether it's fucking in the first minute or the last minute, you know? So, I mean, another point as well with the referee. I mean, when was the last time you see a goalkeeper get done for time wasted in 60 minutes? 60 minutes. I mean, was the referee like looking at his watch to see how many seconds he was holding the ball for? We all know that goalkeepers in that similar situation will eat up a few seconds here and there when I've got the ball, you know? So I don't know what the referee was trying to make a name for himself today. But as I said earlier, what I'd like to see happen is at the end of the game that the referee comes out and is interviewed and he tells us what's on his mind so we can understand what his point of view is. And he can tell us, right? He can say, the reason I gave Martinelli 2 yellows was 4. At least then we hear it from him and we know what he's thinking. But yet again, there's no accountability. The final whistle goes and all the officials just scuttle off down the tunnel, never to be seen of or heard of again. And we're just left to pick up the pieces. And I'm glad that Mikel Arteta is making a beef out of it. I prefer it when the team don't do nothing, but the manager does. You know, the team holds it down and the manager then comes out. And if Mikel Arteta gets fined for speaking out, I think that's the most draconian rule ever. But fair play. I want him to speak out if he thinks that it's been an injustice.
Yeah, and probably this time away in Dubai has engendered some team spirit, Tony, that the team needed tonight away to Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Yeah, I think they've been fighting for each other anyway, since most of them are 22 to 25. We've been seeing it lately. I was hoping we'd see it against Liverpool and Man United, but we didn't. Tonight, first half was great. I didn't get to see any of the second half because I sat in the MRI machine, but from what I saw, it was a good performance in the first half. Entertained by both teams.
I didn't get to see it live either. I knew it would be a game of not many goals, Gary. The XG very, very low on this game, and Wolverhampton Wanderers don't concede many goals.
No.
Well, when your striker misses a goal like that, it's really easy to keep the score low. I mean, it's not. We're not surprised, but we are disappointed that we keep seeing it over and over again, right? But that keeps the score low when you can't. When is he supposed to score if he can't score in that situation?
Yeah.
It's 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. He's got the far corner wide open, all to himself. They practice that all the time. We saw Martinelli complete that and score. Right?
Yes, of course.
So it can be done. We've seen it. We've seen it with our eyes with the Arsenal shirt scoring in that similar situation where the goalkeeper is not going to be able to protect that far post. I mean, it's so, you know, yeah, he messed up. He missed that one. Poor. I mean, you think about this. So Martinelli hits the guy out of bounds, right? And is still able to chase down the guy with the ball. How?
40 yards away.
How?
He has natural.
How? We just talked about this team. You guys just talked about this team. How comes Martinelli was able to hit 2 guys from Wolves before anybody else on our team was able to get to that ball and stop the guy coming up the side? How is that possible? What were they doing? Think about it. I mean, he should have never even been in that situation. The guy should have been closed down long before Martinelli was able to run out of bounds, hit a guy in the chest, and then chase down the ball.
Mm-hmm.
How has that happened? So, I mean,
Sure.
So, you know, the team let him down a little bit. He let himself down, making those silly calls. And you know what? The official, he had to have known that was a foul at the least, right? And then he goes and commits another one. So I don't, you know, it is what it is. I know many are going to say, yeah, no, we got screwed over by the
So,
official, but
you could say,
you keep putting yourself in that situation,
Yeah.
and then blame the official when they didn't make a bad call. You would like them to. When have they ever done exactly what you asked, which is like, you know what, you should have gotten 2 yellows, you didn't. You should learn from that. We never see that, so why are we expecting it today? This is not a surprise.
I've
We never
never
get the
seen-
benefit of that. We never get, okay, you know what, I knew, and you know what, he did give a lot of calls earlier in that game. I think Xhaka could have gotten 2 yellows, I think, if I recall. You know, I think there were a lot of opportunities for him to throw a yellow card, and he didn't. That one was kind of one of those where I let it go, and then you you forced it on me, and you went out and you did. I mean, at some point you got to say, dude, what are you doing? I just gave, I don't know. Yeah. So
Alonso.
we weren't going to get the call. I mean,
Can I just say as well? I heard that. Can I say quickly? I heard that one of the cards apparently was for dissent, because did you notice when Martinelli and the ref started talking to each other, they had some words, and very quickly another card was produced, and I thought to myself, he didn't tell the ref to go fuck himself or something like that, did he? While he was being, so I don't know. You know, he could have had 3 yellow cards by the sounds of it. You know, if that's a possible thing. Do you know what I mean? He's done those 2 things, and I think that he's also given the ref a little bit of verbals as well, which kind of forced the ref's hand by the sounds of it, if one of those is for dissent.
Alonso, it's got to be some kind of Guinness World Record to get 2 yellow cards within the space of 5 seconds. I don't think that'll ever happen again.
Well, I mean, it's like a discipline. I think that, you know, this whole team, not whole team, but some players on this team, like I told you in a pre-podcast deal, was that, you know, you see Xhaka doing it all the time, right? Now Party's doing it, and now Martinelli. And like the ex-center said, that, you know, it's kind of catching on to Martinelli now, where, you know, there's no punishment in the locker room. And, you know, Xhaka and Party are still playing. I mean, I give Xhaka, I guess Party a pass because his fouls are there, whereas Xhaka just pulls and pulls and pulls on the opposition shirt. So of course he's going to get red carded or at least yellow carded every game, it seems like. So yeah, Martinelli should know better than that, and it's just a shame, you know, because he's a good player and he ought to use his head a little bit there, and so yeah, it just sucks.
Tony, Xhaka is Peacemaker's stunt double. Tony?
Yeah, the thing we haven't heard, whose fault this really is, this guy that doesn't discipline these players. Red card number 15 in 2 years under Arteta. That's totally unacceptable. He says he has all these rules and shit, but when players fuck up on the pitch, they'll never pay for it. They're out the next game, right back in, like Xhaka. Just, I don't know. He's so undisciplined on his discipline. He just, okay, I'm going to punish you. I might not punish you. I'll punish you tomorrow, but I won't punish you on Friday for what he did on Tuesday.
Yeah, there is. I can't disagree with that. There is a certain amount of Mikel Arteta is like that. But Stan, let's all drill down a little bit into this red card situation. Every player on the pitch is in a duel with their opposite number, and Semedo and Martinelli, you could see it heating up between them on the sideline.
Let me tell you exactly where I was, my mindset was just before Martinelli got his red card. I was in the kitchen, right, making a sandwich, and I got the TV on was across from me. And I was watching the TV, making me sandwich. All right, Ryan, how you doing, mate? All right. And I heard
Xhaka had to come in. Sorry.
Another
Your
one.
Xhaka
Another
alarm
one.
went off.
But we have enough
Man.
people who like that guy. Oh.
And I thought to myself, right around that moment, I was thinking to myself, you know what? This is one of the best games I've seen Arsenal play. And let me explain why. It wasn't pretty or anything. You know, we weren't sort of like playing, you know, tippy-tappy football. But what I really liked was I was watching it and we were out wolving wolves. There's so many times that I have seen
Yeah.
teams come to our place and there we are trying to play our game and we can't get out of first gear. The other team's in our face. They're holding us up. They're not letting us play football. And we don't know what to do when that happens to us. We still struggle trying to with a plan A when we should be moving to a plan B. But today, I saw something that I've never really seen before. The more the game went on, there was more shithousery. I loved it. You know, the fans were singing the same old Arsenal always cheating. There was Ramsdale getting like cautioned and 60 minutes. And I was like, you know what? I like seeing this. There's a time and a place to have this kind of a game or to have that kind of an attitude. And I really thought that today was the right time for it. And I was literally in the kitchen, like making me sandwich, and I was laughing. And I was remembering what Martin Keown said quite recently about red cards. And he was saying that there's a real fine line when you can play right on the edge. But the really good players, they try to keep it so that they don't go over the edge and get those silly red cards. And just as I was thinking that and making the old sandwich, Martinelli got a red card, and I was like, you bastard. You've just totally put a pin in all of that a little bit, you know, because we've gone down to 10 men, but we held out. But I'll go back and say again, I really love some of that, what we did. I love some of that shithousery with Gabriel, what Gabriel was up to. You know, there were times when they were doing things and I was like, and they would get away with it. And I'd be like, get in there. And it's a side of Arsenal that you don't usually see. Usually we've got a little bit of a soft underbelly. We roll over and let people tickle our bellies. But today we had our teeth on the bone and we weren't letting no one take the bone away from us. And there's something to be said about it. We won in a very ugly fashion. But for me, that's improvement.
Gary, it's the only way we could have beaten Wolves. They're not going to concede many goals. Keep it tight and take advantage of your opportunities. Take the goal when it came along. And yes, we could have had a second one, but Lacazette was instrumental in us getting
and a third and a fourth because Lacazette missed 3 of them.
Well, we got one. That's reality. And Lacazette was a part of the first goal.
Yeah. No, I mean, we got the goal, but yeah, I don't know what to say. Yeah, it's.
So that I'll skip you and go to Ryan.
No. What? Yeah, you want to do that anyways. I know. You're not liking me right now.
No, I would like you.
Ryan, what's your thoughts?
Oh, he loves what Jacques
What's
does.
your thoughts on
you know
the
what?
red card?
You know what? The reason why we got the red card, like Stan was happy about the style of play that we were playing, but the reason why Martinelli got it is because he doesn't know how to. He didn't know how to use it correctly, right? It looked good for some of the stuff, but this is what happens when you don't know how to use that, play that style. And I don't think Arteta is that type of player. I don't think he's that type of manager either. So I kind of feel like we're going out of our comfort zone to do something that we can't do. Like when we first played Burnley a year or so ago, and they just beat us up, right? We learned how to play against that, right? Because teams will just run all over us if we do. That's what we can do, and we have better talented players to nullify it, and that's what we should lean on. I don't think we can play that way because we don't have the right players for it. I mean, what player on our side can actually do that and get away with it, do you think? None, because we don't play that style, right? A lot of the teams that get away with it, they actually play that kind of style where they're putting you on the ground consistently, right? And eventually the officials they know, all right, this is the way this team plays, so I let a lot of stuff go. And that's what we see consistently. Arsenal doesn't play that way. Arsenal's always retaliating, and when they retaliate, boom, they get the worst of it. And you're like, why are we getting the worst of it? Because that's not – I feel like they know how we play, and that's not our style. So when we do it, it looks out of character, so it looks like something new and like, oh, wait, that's got to be a card then. That's got to be a foul. The other team does it. Oh, it's just the way they play. We see it all the time. So, and yeah, we should have scored more than one goal today. We had opportunities, and we know why. I mean, we just don't have the right players. That's why we are. That's why we look at that January window and look at some of what we did in the summer window and go, a couple of different decisions, and maybe we have answers to the problems we're seeing today and seeing all this season. So. Yeah,
this is the roller coaster ride we're on, Gary. Why not say, as DWTT says, erg, How many more gritty performances? FC nil, Burnley nil, away, Palace at home, North London Stoke. Goes on to say today, Arsenal was a definition of Brexit FC. Ryan, welcome back.
It's good to be back. Good to have me. Good to be back with all you lovely people. It's an interesting game to make my return, I must say. But I mean, didn't we all think this is going to be a 1-0 game? I mean, regardless of who wins, whether it be Wolves or Arsenal, you knew someone was just going to nick a goal. Since in the last like 20 years, we've never 0-0'd Wolves. Someone scored. Something's happened. And I think this is just the definition of 1-0. Wolves have 19 goals for, 16, now 17 goals against, and they've played, I think, like 20, 21 games. So they're averaging less than a goal for and less than a goal against the game. So you knew it was going to be a very, very tight game. I didn't expect the fireworks. I didn't expect well, I did expect the Xhaka yellow card. But I didn't think he'd make it so blatant in his first game back. But and then the Martinelli thing was crazy. I don't know the rules. I don't know what that deal is, but hopefully that gets figured out, because if it's against the rules, I think someone tweeted, you can't get a second yellow if you don't know you got a first yellow, which
doesn't make any sense, actually.
That seems like a rule that I would like to see put.
It doesn't make any sense, though.
No, it makes
what do you mean
sense
it doesn't make sense?
What? If you don't know you got a yellow, then you can't commit another yellow offense.
So basically, you can do whatever the
I
fuck
don't
you
know.
want.
I just like it because it benefits us. I don't.
No, I would have
don't
liked
know.
it, but I just think it was 2 yellows. It was definitely a yellow.
But I actually agree with Stan.
Yeah,
I think the second yellow was a dissent, because to me it looked like he was telling him, like, hey, I'm giving you yellow. You fucked up here. You fucked up there. Here you go. And then he just had that. Michael Oliver gets that stare where he's like, I don't know if I want to kill you or take you out on a date. And he gave that look to Gabriel Martinelli, and I'm like, uh-oh. And he did that after he gave the yellow. So I was like, uh-oh. And everyone says, oh, and the commentators in America were saying now, oh, it was because Gabriel Martinelli was holding on the ball. He wouldn't let the Wolves player get the ball.
Yeah.
I don't think it was that, but I did see a change in Michael Oliver's face, and that's when he gave the second yellow to Red. So I don't think the yellows were for each foul. I think when we appeal it to the FA, I think that's what they'll say, well, no, he was getting the second yellow for the dissent, which would kind of
makes it even worse to me then, because one way I think is officiating. The other way is, all right, I'm stupid. I got a yellow. I committed 2 fouls in, like you said, 5 seconds. And then the official is explaining what's going on, and then I talk back.
And you knew this was coming too, because I knew this was coming. I'll never forget. I watched when we beat West Ham 2-0, great win. But the one thing that just was irking me, was when Fabianski had the ball. Gabriel Martinelli, Fabianski had the ball. He was trying to run out, and Gabriel Martinelli just says, "Yeah, fuck you," and he's like pushes him and just gets like a yellow out of nowhere, and it's like, yeah, he blocked him, and I'm just like, all right, like, yeah, I get it. This shithousery can be nice, but it's just like no need for stuff like that. And then every now and then I see Martinelli play. He just has that little bit of like, all right, easy. What are you doing? Like, just play your game. You're already tricking them. You're already dribbling past them. You're giving them a tough time. You don't need to give the ref a reason to be against you. And he did exactly that today. And it sucks. But, when you have leadership that can't stay on the field because of red cards, what are you going to, there's nothing, what are we going to do here? He's just learning from his first team senior players that Arteta, wants to keep.
I don't accept that argument. And I know Gary agrees with you, Ryan, but every player is responsible for their own conduct on the field, Ryan.
Yeah, no, 100%. But when you have Xhaka as your leader, you're gonna take a little bit from him. You don't think as a team you don't rub off on each other just a little bit.
If you see somebody doing something stupid at your workplace, are you gonna follow their lead?
If they get a contract extension and extra money and the armband, yeah, I would. I'll do it.
That seems to be how you know what?
That's what I was about to say. What's the form of punishment?
Let's see. Xhaka gets a really bad leg injury. He's out for months. His first week of training. Oh, we have a game Saturday. Oh, he's in the starting 11. No rest. No U23s for you. We need you. Get on. Yeah, I'm giving him an L.
No
I'm like,
contact training. He just went out there
Yeah, like,
and warmed up and fucking went out on the pitch.
I'll throw the Arsenal shirt on the ground. Like, come on, if that's what gets me in Arteta's good graces like that, like come on. It's just. But I agree, Ray. I 100% agree. I do think that these players do need. It is the players' line. People want to bring up Arteta and say Arteta this, Arteta that. And the players need to take some of this blame, but it's
15 under
unfortunate.
Arteta has to take blame.
Yeah.
I always say either you're teaching it or you're letting it happen.
Yeah.
And that's the only two options I have. So he's either letting it happen or that's the way he's teaching them to play. As Stan said, maybe that's just the style of play that he wants to see from his players, which I don't think so, but he's letting it happen because they keep doing it. At some point they will take a second and think about it before they make that second move, right? I mean, you have to know if you chase down a guy with the ball attacking the goal and you bring him down from behind, it's going to be a yellow. You have to know that. I mean, that's not something nobody doesn't, everybody knows, right?
Yeah, and he got into this duel with Semedo, and Semedo was waiting for him to come back on that second contact, and he was making every bit of it that he needed to as well.
That's what he's supposed to do. You would get upset if an Arsenal player didn't actually try to do that, especially if you knew he wasn't going to be able to get away from the player that's coming up. You got to protect the ball, and then if any slight contact, you go down.
Every week there's desire and duels in every game. It's the man-to-man battle every week in the Premier League, and you have to win. They always say you have to win the right to play first, and this is the duel that Martinelli didn't keep his cool with. So anyone else got any final words to say on the Martinelli sending off?
Yeah,
I have one. Oh, go.
I was just going to say, I mean, am I the only one that's seeing the irony that Arsenal is like spearheading a campaign called No More Red? It's a thought. The irony is not lost to me, certainly.
Yeah, we actually could need a campaign with no more reds for Arsenal.
Should we wear our white shirts the rest of the season then?
14.
Take that top.
Ryan, you had something?
No, someone said on Twitter, and I thought it was interesting to say. Was that not a foul throw? Well, I don't know who threw the ball in. Wasn't that
there was
a foul
one?
throw
I think
on
there
Wolves?
was one. He actually said there was.
So Gabriel pushed him like, yeah, it's a foul, but the foul throw happened before Gabriel.
But he let it go.
He should go away scot-free.
Yeah, yeah. We never said the officiating is good. I mean, he knew he actually. You could see him go, and he put his leg up like your leg was up, when you made that throw, and he let it go anyway. So
no more red and 4 red cards in 6 games. So we haven't started the year very well in terms of red cards. I think only Burnley.
No. 2 goals. So we got 2 goals and 4 red cards.
Yeah, in the new year. But hopefully against Wolves, 1 goal is like 3. Gary.
Yeah, we got the 3 points, so I'll take that. Yes, but once again, this is this is where whether do you want the result or do you want a performance? And I expected to have a better performance coming off the fact that we hadn't played in so long. We're getting back our starting.
Yes.
Stan will say we got back our starting 8, right?
Many will say the other team tries to win as well, Gary. And
I don't care. I don't care about the other team. We are
high standards.
We are better than what what we showed today. I don't think anybody on this panel believes that we played up to our standard that we've seen. We've seen them play better.
Oh, no,
I think we played up to our standard with the starting 11 we have,
and the style of the game, how it was as well.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah,
Jacques and Partey aren't good enough.
I don't want to see us playing like that every week because my heart can't take it. It's as simple as that. Right?
Like I said, I think we can play a lot better than we did today. And
I like them.
Well,
I like
Liverpool could have played a lot better. Liverpool only beat them 1-0 with a 95th minute winner. Chelsea could have played a lot better. They got a draw at Wolves, 0-0. And Man City could have played a lot better. They only beat them 1-0 at the Etihad with Jimenez being sent off. So Wolves, they're not the easiest team to play at all. Tony, I hear your dulcet tone.
First half was something you liked, Ray. It was a roller coaster ride. Both teams were
told
back
you.
and forth. To me, it was exciting.
I told you.
One of the
I
most
told you.
entertaining matches we've had. To me, most of our games are boring.
Definitely. I do wonder if Arsenal will appeal the red card though. Is there some kind of
They always do, but we never get it
I haven't even
overturned.
been able to delve into the book, the thick
If-
book that is the FA regulations.
If we make an appeal and they say no, do they add something on? Is that what happens? Sometimes they do that.
I
Sometimes
mean,
they
we
do
are
that, don't
Arsenal,
they?
but
They
we're not
increase it.
not that bad, are we?
I
No,
think that
sometimes that
did happen
happens.
to us once,
That
Dan.
does happen. Sometimes you
It
can make
generally
an
does
appeal.
happen, yeah.
They look at it and they increase how long the games that they're out for. That has happened. So I don't know if we're in a position to make that gamble, because now that Martinelli's not going to be available for our next league game. I mean, we had a guy on the bench today. What was his name? Or AU or something? I thought,
Yeah.
never, you know all the kids, right? I never knew who he was. So
Yeah,
now the
center
next
back.
game, there'll probably be another kid on the bench just because we don't have anybody else. So what's the options? Saka playing on the left, Pepe playing on the right. That's an alternative. Maybe Pepe gets
Or
Get the
ESR
side.
will just play, I think.
or
Which-
ESR.
Which I listen. I don't want any player to be suspended. I'm not
Hmm.
condoning. I think Martinelli's been great. I think he's great for this team. I think he's going to be a wonderful player. But I'll never say no to ESR starting
Yeah.
for us.
I agree.
I won't.
It's not a bad alternative.
Star player, ESR.
Yeah. No, I've been making this case all day that I was expecting, hopefully, that Martinelli, Milsworth Rowe, and Saka would essentially rotate, and one of them would sit out, and be able to be the one that comes off the bench if needed going forward, just so that we have that ability. Because right now, we go into this game and Milsworth Rowe starts like he should. Who do you, if we need to try to score? Not that it matters, because Arteta seems to think Nketiah is the answer, but you
He's
can't
the
go
one.
to like a
Thousand
Milsworth Rowe or a Martinelli or a Saka off the bench and say, you know what, can you inject some energy into this and maybe we'll try to get something out of it, right?
What
Because
really
Brentford-
screwed us
Yeah.
playing ESR as a false nine in our most important game of the season last year.
Mm.
Villarreal, we have to win this game for Europa. It literally was the most important game of the season, and you experiment with ESR. To me, that's like, to me that's like you're damaging confidence. It's tough because I think this is a game where you play ESR as a false nine, and I don't hate it. But the fact that you traumatized him in the most important game of the season.
Yeah, Alonso.
What's up, Lonnie? I'm upset about ESR.
That was
too, Lonnie. It's
Odegaard.
okay.
That was a false nine. That was
No, that
Odegaard
was-
that played a false nine in that game.
No, I'm thinking
Yeah,
what
I
was
think
the
it
game
was-
ESR?
It was ESR and the
It was
Villarreal
Odegaard.
semifinal away from home.
No, because
No, yeah, it was definitely ESR. I just don't know what leg it was.
Because we
Yeah,
had
but that was
Aubameyang
Pepe.
in the second leg. And he was
First leg.
twice.
first
Oh.
so it was Pepe and Odegaard and the false nine. Because Pepe
Why all
played
this
the
leg talk?
lone striker. Anyway, but yeah, ESR is a great player for Arsenal, and I think he deserves to start every week, in my opinion. But whatever,
And Pepe will be the option. Of course, the chosen one, Eddie Nketiah, will come on 75 minutes.
The chosen one.
I was doing a watch along, and at one point when Xhaka got the yellow, I was like, it'd be all right if he gets a red right now, because we had the lead, and I think we can play with the lead, and we would just, because we've played okay with 10 players, not knowing that we're going to wait till later in the game to do that. But but I was thinking that I was like, that might be, because once Xhaka and Partey both had a yellow, I'm thinking, oh, this is not good. I think Cedric got a yellow as well. I'm thinking, oh, this is not
Gabriel.
going to be good, right?
Gabriel, our core players, Granit Xhaka, Partey, and Gabriel.
Oh, so yep. Sorry, those three.
Yeah.
That we can't.
Cedric was close. I actually liked what Cedric did. He
Okay.
fouled Dendoncker right at the end of the first, or Podence.
Okay,
Right,
I thought he got a yellow, but no. Yeah.
So I didn't think Xhaka was going to get red, because he doesn't do two yellows. He just does straight reds, right? He goes straight in.
Right to the bath. Yeah. Why not said? I don't like that performance personally with 10 men, 7 at the back. All right, harken back
That's a new lineups.
some of the
You know, I
the
wish we conceded. Why not? I'm
The
sorry.
7-1-1.
Sorry,
some of the best Arsenal teams won games like this.
Okay,
So
you
we
know
wanna
what?
get back to
What are you talking? Some of the
talking about
best
the
Arsenal.
90s.
We are not even on that list. Like they put a list of the best Arsenal teams. This one's not on that list.
Not there yet.
No, they're
Well,
not on the
where do you
list.
start? You have to start somewhere.
Not this season. All
You
right,
start with
move.
performances like this, Gary. You don't want to see it, Gary. You just don't want to see
I
it.
do want to see it. I just we're not there yet. You're like jumping the gun. Let's.
No,
This
you
is the
don't-
third
you don't
straight
just
time we
vote
looked
for
good
being
when
a
we were
bad
down to
team.
10 men.
And you don't become a good team overnight. There's games like this.
We are
There's
getting
results like
worse
this.
with our performances. We got lucky today. Yes.
Oh,
Hey,
no.
Ray.
Gary, why do you think we
How
got
did we
lucky?
get lucky?
Hey Ray,
No,
But that's
we-
something that we've been lacking, right? We just never get any luck about nothing. So I'll take it.
True.
I don't think it's luck. The Wolves have scored 19 goals in the Premier League. They're not a good team on attack, and they showed it. They weren't good. I don't think we were lucky by any stretch. I think we were very
We
good
have a good
defensively. We have a good goalkeeper in Aaron Ramsdale. Like, why can't I kind of agree that we need to be better than this. Well, no, I fully agree we need to be better. But you got to give us credit. We were composed. I wouldn't even say we played well. We were very composed in the back. We knew what we were doing. Our defensive players knew where to be and
which
what to
one?
do in certain times.
This one.
And we had Ramsdale, who has just been one of the best players, if not the best player this season. You got to give it to the players. We were just well composed, and hopefully we could show what else we could do on the pitch.
So you
when
say
we have
well
11
composed,
men.
but then I also see Jacques pulling somebody down and Martinelli just losing his head. You know.
Well, that
So
was
it's
when we had
not-
11 men, so I guess we got to play with 10 men from now on.
No, I'm just I'm just saying. I'm just like
Gary sees a
we look-
different kind of faults.
no, but you're talking
Yeah,
about
two
composure.
players
A lot
went
of
off.
that is when we're down a man, and it's like we play much better. Like when we're being pushed, you know, when being prodded and stuff. The team basically comes, you know, starts to focus a lot more when they have 11 players. They need to have that same focus. There should be no difference. And then if we, you know, that level that you're talking about, if I saw that for the first 45 minutes, maybe we looked much better, you know.
I
Yeah, I
think,
agree.
I think it was Arsenal Vision. They quoted Bertie Mee, Gary, 1971. He actually said, in a full season, the team only plays complete games about you only get about 5 or 6 complete games, complete performances, and that's from a double winning team in 71. And the team very rarely, every team very rarely performs at 100%. They all face some kind of adversity, I think. Anyway, I think this was a gritty performance. I think we got the goal up and we stuck it out. We don't want to be going a man down, but I think this is a huge learning step in it for a young team. I believe. Gary, I'll give you, if you want to come back, Gary.
Yeah, I mean, it
gotta
sounds
go.
good, but like when you like you said, we just this year we've got 4 reds in 6 games, 2 goals. I mean, that's just not, you know,
And
it's not really showing me. That's not really showing me the progress you're talking about. Right?
The commentator said Granit Xhaka lost the ball in the flight. He did that at Anfield. He lost the ball, and he karate kicked someone. We're just gonna have to suffer with Granit Xhaka. This is what the club has put us in. Alonso, sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah. So Ryan, you're right. It was just ESR played up front, and there's Udegaard played in back of him. So yeah, you're right. My bad, dude.
Yeah, in the first. No, you're good. In the first, yeah.
Because I was confused because I team sheet, and I thought it said Pepe up front, and Udegaard was behind him. So whatever.
I know. Let Tony speak. Tony puts his hand up, and then Ray's like, "Okay, so Lonnie, what do you?"
Well, I think Alonso was probably in the rotation before.
No, because I didn't want to be wrong. I didn't want to be right and not. I wanted to own up to my mistake and say, "Yo, I was wrong."
Cool.
I was
Yeah.
just laughing at the irony of the comment. That's what I was laughing at.
Let Tony speak. Speak, Tony, speak. What have you got to say?
I was going to say, how the fuck are they learning when they keep making the same mistakes going down to 10 men? You're not learning.
You're learning how to win games with 10 men?
Oh, boy.
Something to be
Yeah.
said about that. There's something to be said
Yeah,
about
actually,
winning,
there is.
winning a game away from home, I believe, anyway. And the best Arsenal teams, I'll say it one more time, have won games like this.
I don't even know how you put that comparison into what you just saw today. I mean, that's where I don't. Yeah, we're gonna bump heads today, I guess, because you're not gonna make any sense to me.
I'll find games for you where Tony Adams has been sent off.
You're talking about really one of the best leaders we've had, right? And you're comparing that to what? What do you see? I mean, it's not even. Why are we? No, don't even. Let's not make those comparisons. We're not there yet.
I am comfortable saying I've seen the best Arsenal team I will ever see.
Yeah, and this is not it. So we shouldn't make this comparison. So you know,
yet it's not it yet. You can't deny we're at 57.5% towards our target of 66 points. We are on target for.
We're gonna spend the next hour and 15 minutes listening to you.
I tweeted today. If we win today, we still have a discussion for top 4. If we don't win, if anything else, it's a discussion for Europa League. So we're still there. I know, right?
We're always gonna be there. Man, you are gonna screw up. Spuds are gonna screw up. Chelsea are even gonna screw up. West Ham are gonna screw up. This race is gonna be alive and well until the last couple of weeks of the season.
Well, let's take a moment. That's a great segue, Ryan. Alonso, start us off. What did you enjoy from the other games? Tottenham. You can pick Tottenham. You can pick United.
Oh my God. I think it was funny, right? Seeing like a team like Tottenham, lose to a Southampton team that has no expectations. They're a mid-table team, right? With no superstars on it yet, I guess. And then seeing like Spurs, our arch enemy, crumble like they always do, right? It's like it's so funny, right? I mean, you got Harry Kane, England's captain, not being able to score or help his team come back, right? And that guy's not a leader. He's not a leader for England, So it's like whatever, man. Spurs are just gonna demise, and they're gonna be crap, and it's just funny to me, it really is.
Gary, I know you enjoyed that result, Tottenham. The offside goal, 3-3.
When they scored to go up 2-1, I was like, oh crap. This is man, come on. I was enjoying this, and now look what you did. And then they score the next 2 goals. You're like, then they tie it up, and they're like, no. Sorry, we're taking that back. It was like, that's it. It's like joy. You know what joy? That's what joy is. They tie it up, and no. Sorry, we're taking that back. It was great. Everything. I loved everything about it.
Tony,
and, they let as people said, they let that team back into the game. It should have been over in the first half, right? So they got 3 goals called back, I think, in that game.
Yeah, a couple of offsides, right? A couple of offsides and 1 VAR.
Yeah. So
are you done talking, Gary?
It's Tony's turn.
Go ahead.
My turn, damn it.
Sorry.
I enjoy any result that makes us go higher in the table that helps us out. So doesn't matter what team. More points for us. Yay.
I guess, Stan, that leaves the Man United game for you.
Hang on, let me just check. Are you finished talking, Tony? Okay, good. The best thing about that Tottenham and Southampton match for me were the 2 managers, because they're both quite emotional. So on the one hand, you had Conte when he got really pissed off, and it was almost like 4 people trying to hold him back. It was a little bit like that Chrysanthemum in the Book of Boba Fett, with all those people hanging off of him in the last episode. So I love that. And then you got on the other side, you got Ralph Hasenhüttl, right? Who every time
keep talking, Stan. He hasn't watched the last episode yet.
Oh, okay. He basically does like a somersault. He really enjoys it. He's really emotional. He's either crying or he's like, hoo, 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 hoo. So I loved it because it was almost like twisting the knife more into Conte. And I love it when Conte looks when he gets all pissed off, like he wants to put a mafia hit out on someone. So fantastic. Although, when Son scored, I did sort of like curl my top lip back because I'm not a big fan of Son.
Mm,
And the reason I'm not a fan of him is because he's a good player.
mm.
You know, if push come to shove,
You take him in the team, wouldn't
I
you?
would, because he would help. Do you know what I mean? He's a
Mhm.
little shit, but I would
Yeah.
prefer it if he was our little shit.
He's wasting his career. He's
That is
wasting his
true.
career there.
That's true.
Yeah, I love a little bit of Hassan Hootel, Ryan.
Funny enough, I'm actually not gonna say the Tottenham game that made me the most. I mean, I'm gonna say Man U. I don't think it's the game really. I think it's just the fact that you have a team like Arsenal, you have a team like Tottenham. Both are like, well, shit, we have to rip it all down and rebuild it back up. Tottenham maybe not so much as us. We've kind of did bigger repairs, but I mean, same thing. And now Man U is kind of going through that situation, but they're trying to cut the line. They're signing Ronaldo. You're bringing in Ralph Ragnick. You're trying to kind of saying, you know what? Yeah, we don't really want to do the rebuild. We want to make our cute little entrance right now. And they're terrible. There's dissension or ascension, dissension. Yeah, dissension. In the locker room, the players are apparently fighting. Ronaldo doesn't like Ragnick. Lingard comes out. Ragnick came out and said, "Oh, we gave Lingard a week off because he didn't get his move. We wanted to collect his thoughts." And then Lingard comes and goes, "I was fine. They told me to take a week off. I was ready to go. I'm Man U all day." So you're like, "Oh, something's really going on." And Ragnick was someone who I've wanted before we even hired Unai Emery. So I was a little bit jealous when they got him, but he's done nothing but ruin them. Everyone doesn't want him. And newsflash, he's going to be with the club even after the season because he's going to go as a consultant. So, he's not going anywhere. Yeah, he might not be the manager. He may not be someone that the players really talk to week in, week out. But he's going to be with the club. So you'll love to see it.
Has this changed your perception of Ragnick?
No, I think knowing the fact that he doesn't have the players to play his system. He likes fast pace, hardworking, pressing, kind of how we sometimes play when we don't have the ball. He likes playing the youth. He likes young players because they have an edge on them. They can run for 90 minutes. Pretty much, not Ronaldo. So when he came, I was like, I mean, like, he's a good manager, so maybe he can turn the team around because they have the talent, but they don't play his football. And you could clearly see they don't play his football. Ronaldo, they're benching Ronaldo, one of the best players in the world. Still, I think we could agree that he's probably still up there. But no, I just think he is just in a job that just doesn't suit him. And I think Man U wanted to make a quick fix, and they knew they wanted him in, upstairs. So they're like, all right, like, just be our manager until we figure things out. And, we'll go from there. But things haven't gotten have gotten worse than they thought, I'm sure. But yeah, no, I don't think it's a knock on Ragnick. I think it's just a knock on the players.
It boils down to what we have: shitty ownership.
So why not said here? Arsenal United are brothers in banter, a ridiculous game of one-upmanship. I think the difference is we're starting to get our house in order, and United don't have their house in order yet, and they're going to take some time to shuffle that squad. It might take a number of windows for them, as it has taken us. Alonso, which manager looks most bewildered, most frustrated between Conte or Ragnick?
I think Ragnick.
Which one is the most fun to watch right now, Ragnick?
I say so. I think with Man United, there's a certain standard there. I think that no matter how bad or how good they are, there's a certain standard at Man United where, at Spurs, let's just face it, they're not. I tell you all the time that the old school football clubs are United, Liverpool, and Arsenal, and since money is coming into the league, you have now City and Chelsea who win all the time, right? And back in that conversation, you never met Spurs in that conversation of old school. Now, like I said, there's a standard at Man United where at Tottenham they just are a mid-table team that don't win no trophies, right? So, I think I think the Man United manager now has a job to do, and that's to bring up Manchester United from the good old days, where as Conte, you just fell.
Let's not forget United finished second and third the last 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 2 seasons ago. When things change.
Last 2 seasons. Last season they finished up there.
Can I just shout out the Urban Ghost who's taken me back, who's rolled me back to my 20s with his comment. Just got in after a night out on the Raz. Hi, lads. Do you know that reminds me of like going down to Cinderella Rockefellers, cheesy nightclub, midweek. Do you know what I mean? Where they have like cheap beers on for that night to get you down there. And then you leave with some rough old boot at the end of the night. Get a kebab on the way home. Do you know what I mean? I love that.
Kebab in a dark alley.
Stan, this win has put us in decent shape now. We're sort of level with Tottenham. They've got a game in hand. They're 3 points behind us. If they win their game in hand, it'll be level. We got games in hand on West Ham being just 1 point behind them. We've got 2 games on them. And we have 1 game in hand on United, and we're level on points with United.
And one of our games in hand is with Tottenham.
True.
Do you know what I mean? And that could be a deciding game when that comes around. There could be really a lot of stake. And I mean, it's a North London derby as it is. Do you know what I mean? It could be win that, and St. Tottering's Day comes around, which hasn't been around for a few years. You never know, right? So I kind of like the way it's kind of shaked out. That game with Tottenham has been put in the back pocket.
It could be April. I wouldn't put it past the league to sort of schedule it for around April, May. It would be almost like a decider.
I like it though. It kind of could give it a little bit more juice to the game.
Yeah. United coming up on 10 years, no title, and we're at 18 years. Somehow I think they'll beat us to it. Yeah, it's going to be very difficult to beat. To win a title now against City, it's nigh on impossible. And I think Rohan said last week, it's going to be easier to win the Champions League than it will be to win the Premier League.
Always has been, I think.
Yeah, because it is a cup competition.
It's a mockery of a competition, isn't it? It's called the Champions League, and you can like sometimes get in if you finish 5th for a backdoor thing. You know, for me, the Champions League should be the league of the champions, or call it the European Cup if you want to do. I preferred it when it was just called the European Cup, if I was honest. To be honest with you, you know what I mean. Have maybe the top 2 teams from the leagues go into it.
That's old school European Cup. Going back to those terms, the kids have forgotten all of those terms. You know,
just call it what it is, right? The European Cup.
I want to bring it back around to this performance tonight and the goal. Ryan, start us off with the goal.
Yeah, the Wolves are. I think it's us and the Wolves. I think we're the only 2 teams that have not conceded off a corner. And what do you know? We're the team to knock them off their block. You know, it was a good corner. It was in a very dangerous spot. Lacazette kind of threw his body on the line, which is something that he's known to do. And we got Gabriel was the right spot, right time. And then, that's all that takes sometimes. So I was nervous just like watching it with my eye. I was like, oh, this is going to get called back. Something definitely happened. I don't know what it is. They're complaining. Lacazette's flying around. Sa's complaining that he's hurt. But no, it was a clean goal. And that's just sometimes how they shake out. Gabriel's in the right spot. He toe pokes it in, and 3 points to us.
Hey, Gary, Ben White was getting in some good positions. Earlier, he had a shot across from Saka. Ben White in the penalty box.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I just decided, let me just take a look at some of these replays, and that's the first thing I saw is the pass from Erdegaard, who passed it up to Saka, right, and crossed it into to White. So yeah, he was more attacking. Yeah, it was good to see on that side. I mean, I think he's in for defense, but he did look good on the offensive side today. So. Yeah. No, I mean that was good. That was good from him today.
And the header back into the mix. Lacazette does get to the ball before the goalkeeper.
Yep.
And
the goalkeeper went through him.
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty clear. he went through Lacazette, who's usually
I mean,
not there first, right? So that was good. That was like you said, that was one of the good things he did today.
and then Gabriel scoring. This is the mix of goals we're going to need. If Lacazette's not going to, if Eddie and Ketty's not going to do it, Lacazette's not going to do it. We need goals from other areas of the field.
Yep. No, everybody's gonna have to pick up the slack, right? So, yeah, I mean, Gabriel's got what? Is he on 3 goals now?
3 or 4 now. I think, for the season.
I mean, 3 goals, yeah. So,
He's tied with Lacazette.
I mean, yeah, our center back's got many goals as our striker. That's just not, and he's got as many goals as our strikers, not just
Plural.
one striker.
Plural.
All of them.
Strikers,
They
plural.
call it zone 14, and that's where you should be scoring your goals from, in zone 14. But it's Lacazette is having a tough time in front of goal, and I think he got a little bit heated at the end, Stan. Right at the end of the game, he was a bit heated.
I didn't see that, but they were talking about that earlier. I missed all of it, and again, I like to see a little bit of aggression. No more of this like tickling our bellies with feather dusters.
Yeah, but he did that with Arteta, who usually ends up letting you go and freezing.
He's
you
going,
out when
isn't he?
did
He's
it.
going anyway.
No, but if they freeze him out, I think that would be really bad for the team.
Arteta said to himself, "I've used up all of my strikers. I can't get rid of another one, so I need to keep this one."
I think at some time during this season, at some point, and we touched on it earlier, maybe because of bookings or something, at some point we might see a false 9 in the last 16 games, because you're bringing on like Eddie and Nketiah, and if you're the competition, you see them take off Lacazette and bring on Eddie and Nketiah, you're just like, and you're not like, oh no, we've got to like regroup and like readjust everything. You're just like, and Eddie today, he looked like someone that his mind is elsewhere to me. It's all right that he keeps getting thrown on. We ain't got anybody else, but he weren't doing what Ramsey was doing. I mean, when Ramsey knew he was leaving and he was getting picked by Emery, he was putting in the shift.
Putting the shift in, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Eddie, even though he's never been a prolific goal scorer, today he looked like he wasn't even putting in the shift when he came on.
Kind of crazy how Gabriel Megalegs has the same amount of goals as Lacazette and Eddie combined. Rough life, really.
Striker's life. It's not for everyone.
It sucks because I hate
that.
this that we're talking, bad about Lacazette. I love Lacazette. I think since he kind of came back since that Crystal Palace game, I just love his passion, his enthusiasm for his team. I don't see him being here past the summer, and I think he knows that. And he's still so professional. He's wearing that armband with pride. He's doing great things off the pitch, and he's doing good things on the pitch. Well, except for scoring goals, which is obviously very important. But it's just a shame that it's going to go down like this for him, because he was very vital in setting up that one goal for us. And his link-up play and his hold-up play is really good. He takes a lot of fouls for us. But watching him play today against Wolves, it was like all right, when I used to play soccer when I was a kid, and when my cousin came to visit, he's a lot smaller than me. But I'd always have to bring him whenever I play with my friends. And he was good, but he was just this little twerp that was just, you would just push him off the ball. And it was just like, whatever. Like, it's like, all right, whatever. But when he got the ball, you're like, okay, like he's actually pretty good. So we would just close him down, bully him, and he would be nothing. And I think that's kind of like how Lacazette's like the little brother that's like, yeah, he's going to be good eventually, but he's tiny and he can't do anything. And he's not confident because he's playing with bigger, faster men. And it's a shame because I think he is a good leader for us. I think he's a leader that we've been lacking for a very, very long time. And hopefully Arteta can find someone next season to really bring this thing to a head. Because we're
Well,
Can I just
in
say
fact,
there,
he's playing in the midfield.
Let Tony talk.
Sorry,
He
Tony.
said, or it's the fact that Lacazette's playing in the midfield. And today he was helped out some by.
I don't
Odegaard,
agree. Yeah,
who
I
was
mean, that's just
playing
where
even
he's
deeper
best
than he was.
used. I'm not saying I agree with it, but that's where he's the best, is when he's linking up play, connecting Odegaard to Saka to Martinelli. Because let's face it, when teams play us, their objective is to isolate Martinelli and isolate Saka. And that's
There's
usually
a
what
little bit
happens.
There's a little bit reversed today because Odegaard was dropping back deeper than he normally does, doing some of Lacazette's work.
Yeah, and we play our best football when Odegaard is is playing in their final third, or our final third. So it's definitely rough, and I think something needs to be said. And I've said this for multiple weeks, multiple months. The middle of the field is just I don't even know what you want to call it. I would call it, our team has multiple multiple MS. They're fucked up.
Yeah, when your
fucked up
number
spine.
9 and number 10 have to drop back and save your midfield, it tells you how shit it is.
Yeah, just in the middle of the field. We are just completely inept, and that's what it's real upsetting. Like seeing Saka like mega guy dribble past another guy, Martinelli running right on the left side. But then what? You have Lacazette who can't score the goal. He has no confidence. You have Granit Xhaka who I don't think knows how to walk one foot in front of the other. Thomas Partey's not playing his best football. Like it's rough, and hopefully we can get those upgrades coming in because with January, I stuck up for Arteta a lot when everyone was freaking out about all these no signings. It's a big risk, big reward. Hopefully we can get through this unscathed, and I just hope we can at least get European football because that's all we need. We just need games for these young players. Games.
And I think Lacazette should be playing in the Six Nations of the weekend because he is always behind the ball. And in rugby, you have to play the ball backwards. So.
I mean, there are a couple of things, right? There's a couple of things. The first 45 minutes, I think we looked good, right? You saw Lacazette. He looked like what we
were lucky, though.
With Arteta, I'm just ignoring you now. Who are you again? What's your name?
I'm the host.
I don't know who you are. I'm sorry.
He's
I came on here.
Pokey the Bear.
I came on here for Tony and Stan. And
Don't bring me into it.
Listen, everybody's there for Tony.
Oh fuck, Stan! I wish he brought me into it. I want my.
Everybody's here for.
I
Tony.
did not know you were showing up today.
Sorry, go ahead, Gary.
All right.
We
You
lost
should
the
always
first half.
No, I'm just saying that first.
Gary
the first
always
45
has to get his word in.
Yeah, and I was going to say the first 45 minutes, Lacazette up top looked like what I think Arteta wanted. As soon as the second half came, it looked like they either turned it off or he couldn't do it anymore. And that's kind of where we are, I think. And that's why it sometimes would be nice if he just subbed him out at halftime.
I was going to say like 70 minutes or something.
Well, today was definitely 45. Like you can see for that first 10 minutes.
45 minutes. So.
Yeah, that first 10 minutes of the second half, I was like, we need to make a sub yesterday. Come on.
Yes, bring on Eddie.
Oh, okay. Now you're going crazy. You know what? You're off the show. I mean, with those comments, you're not allowed to talk Arsenal football anymore. I'm sorry. No. But the first 10 minutes, you look at it and you're like, all right, we're gonna have to make a change. And of course, like usual, the other team makes 2 changes. We make 1. And you're like, it's not the right one either. So I think he thinks he has to keep Lacazette on there as long as possible because of supposedly his leadership. But today we needed like some footballers.
No, Gary. He had to keep Lacazette on the pitch as long as possible because guess who's coming on for him? Eddie Nketiah. I'd rather have Lacazette.
Martinelli's moved over to the middle.
Lacazette, he always come off between the 60th and 70th minute. That's when he always used to come off. Now there's nobody behind him, so Arteta does not pull him out of the 60th to 70th minute like he always used to.
The old man's gonna fall. He's gonna get hurt.
Yes.
That's what's gonna happen.
He's
gonna get hurt.
This is the title of the podcast, Fit for Purpose. I thought we would win today. I came up with the title before the game, and it's a play on our fitness as well, Tony. We're gonna need to stay fit. We were fit for purpose tonight against Wolves. We played Wolves at their game and we won. The only way you can play Wolves, play them tight and get a goal.
You're kidding me, Ray. When we have 14 players, we have to stay fit. Imagine that.
We have to stay fit and we have to stay away from cards. And Partey and Granit Xhaka, we all thought somebody was getting sent off, right? We were right. Someone was getting sent off, but we thought it was going to be a midfielder. One of the terrible 2, the soft middle, Gary.
Yeah, definitely. I remember I forgot that Partey got a yellow, but the fact that the midfield's getting yellows is just not. That's telling, right? That's telling. That's just not good. And then Gabriel gets his Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a goalkeeper though, Stan. I think it was Martinelli who got the wasting call. I don't know.
No, Gabriel
No.
Megaleg's got it.
Yeah,
I
Both
thought
of them were
Ramsdale got a shouted at as well for about 60 minutes.
I mean, he looked like he
He
was,
did.
and then he
did.
then he
And the
kicked
Wolves
it,
were
then he
whistling
kicked
as
it,
well.
and
The
he
Wolves were
slipped. Do you
whistling.
remember? Do you see when he slipped? He slipped. He had to get up cool, like.
Can I say something on Lacazette before we move away from him, please? Because
Yes.
you didn't come to me. What the thing is for me
Sorry,
with Lacazette,
my
right?
bad.
Is 3 strikes and you're out, Ray.
I know
So,
this Ray guy is supposed
My
to be the host.
performance
Look what he's
is
You're on
doing.
2 now. You're on 2. Yeah.
That's
You're
it.
like- you're
Get
like
Ray out here.
Martinelli.
Bring on Eddie and Kedia. Where is he? Get him
Oh
in.
Yeah.
no! Oh no! You
Yeah.
know what, Ray? Please do better. Ray, please do better.
We don't want to bring on Eddie. Don't let us bring on Eddie.
So the thing is, though, I always felt that when we bought Lacazette originally, right? If you look at it, I try to put myself in his shoes. He comes into Arsenal, he gets given the number 9 shirt, and he's kind of like given the idea like that he is going to be our main force when it comes to being a striker. And he was settling in. He wasn't setting the world alight, but 6 months later, we brought in Aubameyang, and we paid a little bit more money than we paid for Lacazette. And all of a sudden, there was a shift. And I always felt that Lacazette was kind of always a little bit in the shadow of Aubameyang. They had a great relationship as friends, so it seems by the pictures. But I kind of felt like Lacazette kind of got not marginalised, but it was now all focusing on Aubameyang. And since Aubameyang's been out of the team, it almost feels to me that Lacazette's come out a little bit from the shadows, a little bit. He has been, I want him to be upgraded, and he's not good enough for Arsenal. But as I was saying earlier about Eddie, he's got 1 foot out of the door, and it looks like it. Lacazette, he does remind me of when Aaron Ramsey was leaving us. He was still putting in shifts. He's putting in shifts. He's doing some hard work. It's just a shame that, and I know you're going to be watching this, Mum, but it's the only word I can muster at the moment. It's just a shame that he's a bit dog shit. He gets a one-on-one with the keeper. He's got the right-hand side of the goal crying out for him. He shanks it wide. There's Martinelli running through on the breakaway, and he passes it out to the left, but Lacazette hasn't got there because his little legs won't carry him. So you're just seeing his insufficiencies are really being highlighted, but he's trying. But at the end of the day, what I just described, to me, it sounds like I'm describing Emil Heskey. And back in the day, I used to hate Emil Heskey. I used to think, why would you have a striker that doesn't really give you, all I used to hear is he works so hard for the team. He works so hard for the team. I want strikers that put the ball in the back of the net. That's what I want from a striker. And unfortunately, Lacazette, his powers have waned. But I'm happy that he's working as hard as he is. But sometimes it does feel like we're playing with a player short. And with Xhaka in the team, sometimes it feels like we're playing with 2 players short.
Yeah. Want to talk about Granit Xhaka for a moment? Grabbing the shirt. This Granit Xhaka.
With me and Ryan on here, what do you think? Do you think we want to talk about him?
Over to you, Ryan.
Show
I was
unquote.
gonna say, I
I
figured
would
it out. I
say-
figured it out. Tony doesn't have his hat and jacket on, and he's not getting the respect he usually gets. I think I know what's going on. I just figured it out. You need to get 2 pairs of that hat and jacket, Tony, so you don't have to put them into the shop, so you can get the respect you need when you're on the pod.
And just out of interest, Tony, have you got any news of what is actually happening on the border of Ukraine? What's happening? Are you going to make a move or what?
I can't tell you.
You're going for a land grab.
Comrade Tonsky cannot comment.
He's moving his forces left and right, but he
I just want to. I know I'm supposed to tell you one, but I'll just let you all know in the chat box. Tony is actually broadcasting from the Ukraine. He's been there. He's been there for the last 3 weeks. So that's what I'm saying.
I miss Soviet Union, Tony, says Mr. Tom. So. Alonso, just I'm going to drop out for a second and be right back, but have a little chat amongst yourselves about the next 16 games and keeping fit and staying card free and all that good stuff.
Yeah, we're going to stay card free and stay
16
fit.
more cup finals and all that good stuff.
That's a tough task.
The lunatics are about to take over the asylum.
I know he just gave up the keys and we stole the credit card. So time to have fun. Let's do it.
Should we all go when he comes back? There's no one here. Just like, huh? What? No.
All right.
Come on.
So
turn our cameras and mics off and just walk away.
I got a question for you guys. Okay, so next year we Luck is this on the team, right? So who bet for captain next year? In your opinion,
Gabrielle or
best suited?
Ramsdale? I'd give it to
Right.
Gabrielle.
Okay, so then we go counterclockwise.
For me, I would like to see like the captain, a vice captain, and like somebody else hanging around with him, like a 3.
Mhm.
And I would like either Kieran Tierney or Martin Odegaard to be the captain. Whoever it isn't will be the vice captain. But that third person who's part of the group, I'd like it to be Ramsdale. But I don't like Ramsdale. I don't like the thought of Ramsdale being the captain. I just don't like goalkeepers being the captain.
Yeah, no, I mean, I hear that all the time, but I'm just like, you know what? Performances like today are the reason why he should be, and I understand the reasoning why you don't need to, because he's doing it now, and it's not really helping the squad in the areas that it needs to. When we do, we need that leadership in the middle of the pitch, but we're not getting that. We're not going to get that from anybody we have on the squad right now, anyway. So, right, you're talking about Gabriel and Tierney, and maybe Erdegaard, but I mean, is he? Can Emil Smith-Rowe beat him out?
He's got that international captaincy sort of help to edge him out a little bit. I think captain in Norway gives him a little.
Yeah, but we have a captain of Switzerland, and I don't, and I don't. I mean, he's almost turning me off the chocolate, but he hasn't yet. So you know what? But no, that's a plus. I just don't think I don't think we're getting that from him here, right? And I guess it's easier when you've got Haaland, in front of you. When you look up and you see Haaland there, maybe it's a little bit easier. But we need. I really want Tierney to be the guy, but I want him to take it, and he's not doing it.
He's gone off the boil a little. I know
he's not taking it. He needs to take it. Just take it, because I think I think I would like to. I feel like the team would play for him. He's going to go out there and he's going to be a voice. But he just since that Leeds game, I kind of feel like we've kind of lost that fiery guy that we got, right? That Leeds game where he got at the end of the game when Xhaka pushed him away. I just feel like we've lost that guy. I don't see that guy much anymore.
Let me just ask you, because he does make a good point. I know what he kind of means. We don't have a Roy Keane in there, but
We don't have an outstanding leader.
But if you had to pick someone, why not? Put it in the chat box who you would pick out of who we have, because we're going to have somebody, right?
Pick someone.
And it's probably not going to be someone that we bring in. It's going to be someone that's already here.
Ryan, you turn, Ryan.
So I actually agree with Stan. I shout out to Harry Potter. I have like a Harry Potter.
Let's hear that.
So Draco Malfoy is going to be our captain, and he has like his 2 friends, Crabbe and Goyle. So my captain, I want to be Martin Odegaard. I think he is the best fit. He's the captain of Norway, and I watching him play and watching him, talk to his team, command his team to press, move around the pitch. He's calling passes out to other players. I think he's perfect. Crabbe, I want to be Kieran Tierney. Goyle, I want to be Ramsdale. I think that they're the best players that really exude the mentality that we want to see in this club. I don't want Kieran Tierney to be captain because Gary said he doesn't want it, and yeah, I agree. I don't think he wants it. And I have read over the last couple months. I guess fun fact, I didn't know this, but Kieran Tierney's not a leader. He's a follower. Even when he was in Celtic, he didn't really want to become the captain of Celtic. He was kind of just pushed into the role because of his mentality, because he was with the club.
But wasn't he a deputy for Scott Brown? He kind of only done it when Scott Brown was out.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't something he was like, oh, give me the armband I wanted. It was something that just kind of like fell to him, and he was just like, okay, I'm going to accept it because I care a lot about this club and I care a lot about this team, because that's just the kind of person he is. So I think he would be a great vice captain. He'd be a great kind of like.
But I want
sidekick
that
to
guy
Mark
though.
Odegaard.
But I want that guy. I don't
Yeah,
think
no,
we're
I
even getting
agree.
that.
I still think we're not playing him to the best of his abilities, and I think Arteta's kind of wants Kieran Tierney to believe that he's a left midfielder, which I don't understand. That's I know a lot of people don't agree with me on that, but I don't like Kieran Tierney pushing up the pitch as far as he has been.
Yeah, he wants Tierney to bomb up the left. Yeah.
I quite like that idea though, right? You got like Martin Odegaard turning up for a fight, and they're like, "Who's this pretty boy coming up the street?" And then from the two corners, Ramsdale and Tierney come out and just get in behind Odegaard. And like, "Oh, hold on a minute.
And someone also for the future who I would consider as maybe a fourth guy if they need extra backup would be Sambi Lokonga. I think he's definitely a player. If he stays with us long enough, I think he could maybe get into that Crab or Goyle role. He could become like what Kieran Tierney is, what I want Kieran Tierney to be.
Didn't he captain in Belgium?
Yeah, he captained Anderlecht, and that's no joke. So like he's got to have some kind of leadership skills, and I think if he finds his footing in the Premier League, I watch out. And on top of that too, I think, in my opinion, I like my captains to be either in the back four or like a center midfielder. So I think having Lokonga in the center of the pitch, kind of commanding things, I think would be awesome.
You know, for me, I really like all those choices, but I want to go for a limb here. I want to say Ben White. I think, you know, he's a new kid. You know, he's very young still. So, it'd be good to see an English captain Arsenal, right? And Ramsdale would be a good choice as well. And I don't mind seeing Odegaard as well. I think that they all have qualities, but I like Ben White being a captain for Arsenal as well.
Yeah, I mean, to Wynot's point earlier, there's so many nominees that could do it. I thought Magalhaes was good tonight as well and showed leadership, getting that goal and actually being defensively sound. Not the Grand Xhaka, but he did have a clearing header. I was
that header was really nice. I mean, like I said, you know, he did that header, and then guess what he did after that, right?
Come on. It's Grand Xhaka.
You got to take the good with the bad, right? So, I mean, that's what you get from him.
Yeah, I was like surprised. He's the one that's defensively heading the ball away. Great, I'll take it. The one time in the season. Tony's got his wardrobe changed.
People.
The forces we moved toward the border. Wynot said I'd go buy a Captain Dunk in the club at the moment, Gabriel Magalhaes. But in my opinion, Lacazette is a good stopgap till a clear plan FC can buy an actual proper alpha male, more testosterone than flesh player. All right, we're looking for a Terminator then. And there's not too many of them. Why not out there? There's not too many natural-born leaders out there anymore. Wouldn't White be better suited in midfield? He's quick-footed, likes to move forward. He seems a good fit. Tony, Cedric was in the team because we probably didn't want to move Ben White to right back. We see the value of a game like this. We saw value of Ben White being able to move the ball through midfield tonight.
I think it'd be nice to see him there, but Arteta's never let play him there. He's got the feet, he's got the ball moving ability.
Well, where he played tonight was the best place for him, and that's why Arteta did not move him out to right back in Tomiyasu's absence. You know, Gary?
Yeah, no, I think if you don't have to weaken your team, you shouldn't, and you're going to weaken your team if you shift White out and then you bring Holding in. So now you've got basically two weakened spots instead of just one weakened spot, which you can maybe provide some extra cover to. And today Cedric looked okay, especially in this team, right? They're not going to pose a threat to us as much as we might see in the next game that we play. So hopefully Tomiyasu's healthy, and we've got 9 more days until that. So hopefully Tomiyasu can get healthy and we get him back. But yeah, no, I think shifting around is fine when you have to. That's another reason why we letting go some of our other players that could have probably played right back. Right? So that's this January window coming back to haunt us a little bit there, but we were able to make it work today.
We'll make it.
Oh, look at this! We are getting
Comrade
taken over.
Stansky!
What's that show? What's that movie called with the when the Russians come in and attack America? What's it called?
Red Dawn.
Red Dawn. Yes. You just look. You turn your back, and next thing you know, there's tanks rolling through, and paratroopers dropping in
Oh
on
my
a high
God.
school. Oh, look at this! Look at this! There's even more. Oh my God!
Yeah, we're all off
It's
to the
more like
Ukraine.
that.
We're all off to the Ukraine.
Ryan, I'm sorry you had to see this. This
It's
is
more
not
like
usually,
that dog
this
in
is not
Dumb and
usually what
Dumber.
happens here, but
That's it. Where's my poop pillow?
oh my God!
Where's your
Anyway,
fucking unicorn at with its holes in it?
I couldn't keep up with Stan and Tony are really rocking the black part of it, so the dark.
And this is
dark.
called the Ruski segment of the show.
Stansky.
This part of the show has been sponsored by vodka.
We
Yes.
do
The
podcasts.
Tonsky man of the match.
We do podcasts for everyone.
Stansky. This is the part of the podcast where you nominate a man of the match, and we go all the way around, and then Tony tells us how
Tonsky.
crap.
Comrade Tonsky.
Tony tells us we were all wrong, and he picks the real one.
I think for me, the man of the match has to be the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper really helped us out today, I think.
Ramsdale, Aaron Ramsdale,
Comrade Ramsdale, yes, him.
Comrade Ramsdale. Gary, who do you think is your man of the match?
I've seen some, see some say, Gabriel and Ramsdale definitely did well. I think those were probably two of the better players today. We wouldn't have got the win without both of them. So I can't. For me, I guess I'm gonna go with Gabriel. I think we definitely need him in the middle of the pitch for us. And today, he does score once in a while. He scored again today, so that was good. So I think I'm gonna go with Gabriel, but I don't think you can go wrong with either Gabriel or Ramsdale.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments as well. Everyone who's watching here. BX Skinner's gone from Ramsdale also. Ryan?
Yeah, I think for me it's a toss up. I was between Ben White, Gabriel, and Ramsdale. I think they all had really good games. Gabriel with the goal, but I think Gabriel also made a couple mistakes in the back. There was a play in the first half where he tried to pull a Granit Xhaka and kick
What
it.
about his fucking through ball?
And
His
kick
through
it,
ball was
and kick it,
brilliant.
and kick it behind him, and he completely flubbed it, and they almost scored. But I guess just because Stan said Ramsdale and Gary said Gabriel, I'm going to go Ben White. I think Ben White is our most dynamic center back, and I think he could do really good things. And I think you saw that a little bit. He defended well in the box. He kind of had a commanding presence around him. He was able to carry the ball up and take some pressure off of Odegaard and gave Odegaard a lot of space to do some things. I know we didn't do a lot, but Odegaard did get a lot of space in certain parts of the game, and I think that has a lot to do with Ben White. And I think a lot of people are sleeping on him. I think a lot of people don't think Ben White is going to be that good. I think people are the jury's still out on Ben White. I also think people have another thing coming because they really think Saliba is going to come take this team over, which I'm not saying he won't or he will, but Ben White's in the team now, not Saliba. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a Ben White, and I hope he continues his performances as a dynamic center back.
That is going to be interesting. The squad is so thin. We're going to have to recall at least one of our loanies, and Saliba will be the jewel in the crown, I would think. And there will be a debate whether he's better than Ben White or not. I agree. Ben White was moved to the point of attack, was able to move players around, the Wolves players around for us to progress the ball through midfield. And we've come a long way in 2 years, moving the ball through midfield. I guess if I was talking about Gabriel and real leadership, I have to give him man of the match. I have to give it to Gabriel with the goal and some vital interceptions, especially toward the end. It wasn't helter-skelter like Liverpool, but we held on in the end and got the 3 vital points. And I think we need about 9 more of these wins for the remainder of the season. 9 from 16 and 16 cup finals. Alonso?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Rob Holding. I think that he came on and played great defensively. I know he doesn't get a mention because he's our bench player, right? And it seems like he's been coming on when we are down 10 men. And, it kind of shows you his strength sometimes that he had come in with a lot of pressure and help the team win by clearing the ball out and doing the small things right. And I know he gets a lot of bad publicity because he has cost us some games in the past for lack of focus, but he is a good player, and I think today's performance kind of hopefully reminded people of that he can put a shift in when someone gets hurt or down to 10 men. So Rob Holding for me.
Bravo, Lonnie. I didn't have the balls to say it. I thought he played very well. And Rob Holding gets a lot of stick, and I don't like it. I think I tweeted about it a couple days ago, but him and El Neni to me are just the perfect squad players for Arsenal. And I really like what he's been doing and coming in clutch moments when we go down to 10 men. But yeah, I didn't have the balls to say Rob Holding because I was afraid the Don Juan Tony was going to laugh at me. So.
No, we're all gonna laugh at you. That's all right.
Okay, there you go. They all would have laughed.
No, listen, a good shout. He did come on for a little amount of time and sort of to give him man of the match was a ballsy choice as well. Why not said Saliba will be sold. Arteta does not like him. That's my non-negotiable. I'll turn on Arteta if he sells Saliba.
I don't think he ever plays a competitive minute for us. I've been saying it, and I'll keep on saying it.
I disagree. Our squad's so thin now. I think Pepe actually has a future at the club still. Pepe, we have so many other areas that we need to address, Tony. We're going to have to keep Pepe. We're going to have to keep Saliba. But anyway, Tony, who's the real man in the match?
What country's hoodie do I have on now?
Brazil. It's Martinelli.
Gabriel Martinelli? What?
No.
The way he
legs.
out on
Shit, fuck. Got sent off.
I liked his through ball. I liked his goal. Martinelli would have scored if he fucking kicked it up ahead to Lacazette. Instead, he went for a goal like he always does. But Gabriel for me.
Yep. Okay. There, we've heard it, Stan. It's Gabriel. In black type now. Gabriel. He gets the Don Juan man in the match. Okay, so vital 3 points tonight.
Can I just say as well, though, I have to agree with Ryan that Rob Holding, he came on quite late in the game and he was right in there. As soon as he came on, he was, he had a little chance to warm up and he put in some vital blocks in defence. So I did give props out to Rob Holding and a good performance for, the short time that he played. And that's what you need.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I was more upset with Arteta, even though yes, Holding did play well. I was more upset with Arteta because it seemed like he just decided that, you know what, I'm going to put more pressure on our defense, and I'm going to make sure that happens. Right, I'm going to pull out. Martinelli does what he does, and then Saka comes out. So basically, there goes any kind of pressure you're going to put on a defense when you do get the ball. So basically what that does is put more pressure on your offense. Puts more pressure on your defense when you pull out those players. And so that's where the game had to be won. We won it there, right? Because they tried, but they could not break through. We got lucky not lucky, but they didn't get the goal when they did score. But yeah, I mean, I was so distraught when we started putting in the wrong players and taking out that I didn't really pay too much mind in terms of the fact that why are we putting so much pressure on ourselves when we're trying to, see out this game?
Because you're Arsenal. That's what we do, Gary.
I get it. I don't see the reasoning for that. I mean, if Saka needed to be rested, I get it. You take him out, but at that point in the game, you might need him to be able to take that ball up the side for a little while and maybe relieve some of the stress on the team. I mean, every time we got the ball,
Gary, haven't you been an Arsenal fan long enough to figure it out?
don't like it. At some point, this
Don't
is
like it.
whatever book Arteta is reading from. Can we please change it?
Hey, we actually won tonight.
Coaching for
You're
dummies
one.
is what he's reading right now.
Wait, Gary, so you're saying bringing on Holding was a mistake? We shouldn't have did
No,
that?
no. I didn't say that. I said it just put
Oh.
more pressure on your defense because now you're basically because we
Yeah,
couldn't
play
get the
further
ball.
back.
We couldn't get the ball out of that third for most of the last 20 minutes.
I mean, that usually is what happens when you go down to 10 men, though. So
Oh,
you can't. I don't really
I-
know
I-
what the.
yeah,
I
but at
would
some point, I mean,
Sorry.
you got to get somebody who can hold onto the ball and
And
take it up
the-
the pitch. I mean,
The other thing
That's why
is,
we brought ESR. That's why we have ESR.
Can
I
can
think
say
it's
something?
still. Go ahead, Stan.
Just a little bit controversial, I know that, but there are only two players from the Wenger era that I would extend contracts, and that's Rob Holding and Mohamed El Neni, because these are exactly the kind of players that you need to have to fatten your squad. That's
Yeah.
what they are. They are squad players, yeah. And to be a squad player, you have to have the right head for it, and they've shown that they're not gonna keep beefing about their game time. And I'm telling you now as well. And Mohamed El Neni is one of the best closers the best to close the game out.
Yeah.
You know, when you're cruising and he's a good closer to have. Mohamed El Neni, for me, I know there's a lot of people out there that are probably
I
going,
said
what? But who are you going to replace them with?
I said that
You
earlier.
know?
I just wonder why he didn't come in today.
You know, who are you
Yeah,
going
he
to?
should have been the first sub we made, but man,
Yeah, who are you gonna? Yeah, it was maybe not the right game for it, but we got a short squad. We're going to be adding, and Gary, as you say, right, and I agree with you. You say many a time that we're about 10 players short, right? Holding and El Neni can help to be part of that little bit of fat on the outskirts, you know, for Caribou Cup games,
23rd,
for early
24th.
Europa group games, things like that. To close games out today, when you need to throw in another defender because one of our players has let us down and we've got to shore it up. Rob Holding went in and he put in a good performance. They're the only two that I would consider keeping around because they're good backup.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, Lonzo brought it up, so yeah, that's pretty cool. Kudos to him on that one. But like I said, I kind of felt like we kind of put the pressure on ourselves, and I didn't like the way we couldn't handle it because we couldn't get the ball out, and I just thought pulling out like Saka at least. I mean, because Saka could actually play back, and I think he would do a good job if we needed to bring him back defensively.
Yeah.
He's done it before, so I thought he would have been a player that we would want to keep on, but maybe it's to rest him. You know, I don't know, but in that situation, I think Saka could have closed out the game for us as well. Definitely would have liked to have seen El Neni come on, but Nketiah, I don't see any reason. I don't know what reason we would bring him in anymore, and we keep doing it.
it's funny, Gary. I've been thinking ever since you brought him up about him getting subbed up. I've been thinking as to like why would Arteta bring him on for Laka? It doesn't make any sense because I agree a little bit with keeping Saka on the pitch. I still think if someone has to get sacrificed for Holding, because to me you have to bring Holding on in that situation when we go down to 10 men. I feel like I would push comes to shove, I probably would take Saka. No, I would. I mean, I guess if in reality I would take Lacazette off, but then it's like who's your head guy? Who's your lead guy? And I'm not saying that means we have to bring on Eddie. Like I don't know. I'm trying to work myself through it because if you look at it from an objective as a fan standpoint, like at the game, like watching him, like all right, you take Lacazette off, easy peasy. You have Saka, you bring on ESR, we'll be okay. We have ball players that can dribble, create a little bit of havoc if we need to. I don't know. This is going to sound stupid because it sounds stupid in my brain. So even when I say it, it's probably going to be even more stupid.
Why do you do this then?
I don't know. I don't know why. But
I'm going to say something stupid, so here we go.
That he brings Eddie on for Lacazette because I think that the Wolves team, the Wolves manager will be like, oh, fuck, he's bringing on another striker. He's got fresh legs. He can be a goal poacher. Listen, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. But I think the Wolves manager's got to be like, well, he's bringing on a guy with fresh legs that's going to come. He's going to run at us. He's going to be a problem if they get the ball in the final third. And I'm not saying I agree with it, but I think that's kind of what Arteta's trying to prove here by taking Lacazette off. Because if we take off our most, and I think we can all agree that Lacazette's probably not our point. He's always further back, but he is in the 11 on team sheets. He is a striker. He's supposed to be the first person up. If you take off our furthest person up the pitch for someone who's going to be at the very, very back of the pitch, you're already saying, "Come on, come on, we're gonna." And that's what we did. Yes, but
you're right.
Ahead.
You're right, Ryan. Your substitutions tell the other players. The substitutions that are made tell the other players how they're going to play by just adding a different ingredient. Tonsky, you had your hand up.
Tonsky would go for little old Ryan's favorite buddy, Zaka, already on a yellow. That would have been my substitution.
I mean, but you can't, like, he's more defensive than, I don't know. You'd have to me, I agree, obviously, just because of the player, but then you have to alter your entire formation because Saka's got to come back. I don't know. Yeah.
Saka can come back. That's the thing. It's okay. I think it's okay if Saka comes back.
No, I agree. I just think Jacques is more defensive minded. He's he kind of takes that Kieran Tierney spot when Tierney bombs up the left. So I think like formationally and tactics, everything would have to change if we did what Tony said. Which hell yes, the Arsenal Ryan Arsenal fan would love Jacques to come off, but it just as far as the game script and how the game would play out formation.
Well, it'd be too hard to just go to a back three, put Saka on either side.
For us, it wouldn't be hard. For Arteta, you'd probably make his brain hurt because I feel like he's got like 100 million things going on at once. If you like take something out like a Granit Xhaka for a holding, to him that wouldn't make any sense. It would just be does not compute. I don't know what to do.
I think OCD is a real thing that people struggle with. Maybe Arteta struggles with it. Who knows?
And the thing is with Xhaka, he's only like one RKO out of nowhere from getting another yellow card. You know what I mean? Like Randy Orton style.
And so who knows too? We were already down to 10 men. We were playing well defensively. Arteta might be like, you know what? Fuck it. We go down to 9 men. Right. Xhaka suspended for a game. That could be good. We can do good things. Let's just get Brentford. We don't need Xhaka for Brentford. Let him get suspended. Come on. Oh my God. And keep him on the pitch. Let's roll the dice.
I want to add a caveat to what I said about Rob Holding and El Neni because I saw a couple of people commenting with
walking it back there. Okay.
No, I'm not walking it, but I would want to add is the only way that I would sanction that we sold Rob Holding if we've got someone from our academy is going to come up into the squad, maybe a Ballard or someone, whoever, and it's going to take up a position behind Saliba. As you know, we've got 4 centre hanging around on the bench, can come in. Then obviously, I'd rather do that and help develop someone from our academy. But if that's not going to happen, then I'd stick with Rob Holding and give him an.
I think Ballard has actually been playing he's been playing regularly, I believe.
At Millwall, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You know what's funny too is lately this season. We've always our academy's always been very poor with coming up with like defensive players. We've just never the players that come out of the academy are always wingers, strikers, whatever. Our defense, I'll name drop some people. Zach All, who is on the bench, he's been playing brilliant with U23s. Jack off. Yes, he's playing great. Zach Swanson, I think, is someone we could watch out for. I'm not saying these players are definitely going to make the Arsenal first team and they're going to be amazing. But they're playing well at the academy. They're progressing very, very well. And I think they can definitely either make an appearance or two for us or at least make us some money. And another person who we brought in, I think planning him to come into the first team is Omar Rekik, who had actually a pretty good – he didn't
Omar Rekik, what a name.
I don't think he started any games for in the AFCON, but he's someone who's quick. He's a big guy. I think he'll definitely help us down the road. So I do think we have those depth players, if obviously everything pans out, to support, William Saliba, Ben White,
But we don't play any fucking academy players.
And we're forgetting one person.
No, this is for down the road, not
We're forgetting one person. Stone Cold Austin Trusty.
Well, yeah.
He could be coming in next season, right? Whoever he is.
I don't understand that maneuver.
Left-footed centre-back.
Yeah.
Could explain the thinking of Pablo Mari is on his way out.
I've seen him play.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about him.
I have seen him play a few years ago.
He has posters on his.
Not memorable. It was not memorable to me. Brandon Aronson, that's a player I want. Brandon Aronson. Listen, today Liverpool beat Leicester. It was kind of a similar game. They didn't get their second goal till the 87th minute. But I want to believe, without seeing the game, Liverpool played the game with more security and more comfort than we did. That's what we aspire to as a team, Arsenal, and we need to get there. And I think tonight was a step in the right direction. You might not like everything you see, but we got a result way to a really, really tough Wolves team. And, I think we're on track. You can't argue with that. And so here's the next few fixtures, quite winnable games. And if you're looking at the 4 fixtures that we have to reschedule, or 3 of them, it's Tottenham, Liverpool, and Chelsea. So we got to go get points in these games. Brentford at home, it's got to be a win, right?
I want to make up for that first game of the season.
Oh yeah, hella yeah. That's got to be a revenge game, right?
Yeah.
Arsenal of old, Lee Dixon will be penciling this one in on the calendar.
The only game that should really worry us, if at all, is the Villa match. That's it. Every other match we should be looking to get the win, get all 3 points.
Wolves
again would be tough.
I don't.
Yeah.
They don't score, and they come into the Emirates. We have to play.
They're really pissed off of us, aren't they, at the minute? They're really pissed off.
Look
You see
at it,
Neves'
Twitter,
comments,
I've-
Neves' comments
Neves.
were great. Yeah.
The
salty.
one thing this win will tell these Wolves players that going to Arsenal will be a step up. So if we target Neves in the summer, he'll want to come to Arsenal.
Also, too, with Wolves, they might have Coutinho back. Coutinho missing for them today was it was very apparent. I mean, yes, they're not good offensively, but Coutinho's a really good player. And if they have him when they come to the Emirates, it's gonna be an interesting game.
And they're not
they're
the
gonna
same
be pissed.
They've got no Traore as well. They're a little bit weaker than what they were, right?
Yeah.
If Tomiyasu is back, then our defensively we're going to be just as good as they will be on the back line, definitely, right? So that should hopefully help us out a little bit there. So we shouldn't be concerned with their scoring to begin with, but Tomiyasu just should make it a lot even easier for us to.
I don't think I would ever be concerned with their scoring. I would be concerned with us giving them chances, us shooting ourselves in the foot. That's just what we do.
Why is Tommy
getting yellow cards, getting red cards?
You got a calf muscle.
Yeah. And they don't want to risk it. They could have pushed him probably for this game, but they would have risked him for the season.
There's no reason to when you have such big gaps between games. I mean, if he re-injures it, then you've already let him rest this long. If he's not ready, let him. He gets another 9 days of rest. Why not?
Yeah. This 9 days, this rest thing has to be managed properly because you can just as easily be rusty as having too many games. There's a lot to be said for regularity of games as well, but it's something that the team has to manage now, and the club has made their bed now. They've got the squad that has to go till the end of the season, and hopefully, worried about Brendan Rodgers at Leicester. Is he gonna stay in his job?
Not after our game. He'll probably get fired after our game. So there you go.
That's 4 more games, Brendan. You got 4 more games. And
did you hear what he said after that last game? Did you hear it? What he was saying? He's basically kind of saying that he thinks that his teams can't. I'm paraphrasing that they're coasting. That winning the FA Cup, they think that they've like fucking hit the big time. And they've hit the level. Yeah. They've hit a level. And he's basically saying, if that's the case, I actually want more than that. So it was actually, he was actually quite damning towards the team. He's basically saying, I want more than that. Do you? Yeah. Because we haven't reached where I think our level is. So he called out his own team. There's 2 ways of looking at that, depending on where you are in the media. Some are saying that he's a dead man walking. Other people are saying that it's the right thing to do, that, this guy has ambitions and he thinks that the team should have the same ambitions as well. So it's interesting times at Leicester, and I think they've got problems going on internally.
It's kind of the last straw when you do that.
I don't know if it was the same interview, but he also came out and he said in so many words that they're doing some little spring cleaning, and when this season ends, they're going to be getting rid of a lot of players. And one of them is someone we're linked with in Yuri Tielemans. So it's going to be interesting to see who leaves Leicester at the end of the season.
Good. I want Tielemans. I like him. I like him a lot.
I like him for depth. I wouldn't want him in our starting 11. He's got an attitude issue.
Handy to have around, right? It's sort of played out as you say.
Yeah.
Could be a depth player, and within a season could work hard and force himself to be more of a question.
Yep.
Steven Gerrard.
We definitely need quality depth, right? And we can get it. And if he's like going to be a problem in Charlton and not cost as much as he would have, then why? Especially if they want to get rid of him, do it. But once again, as Stan and I've said multiple times, can we just get a starting 11, like a really strong starting 11? All right, please.
Isn't
We're
Tielemans from the
two-
same
two
team as
positions
Lokonga?
off, right?
Is Tielemans originally from Anderlecht as well? Was he at Anderlecht in Belgium? Lokonga, right? Same team.
I don't
I thought
know.
Tielemans he was Belgium, right? I thought it was Anderlecht.
Well, now you gotta
Maybe
look it
a
up.
few years apart. I mean, if you're thinking they played in the same team, they'd probably
No,
didn't
not
play
together,
in the same
but
team.
you know what I'm saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Brentford.
Intellect. You're right. Yeah, intellect.
He was in the Anderlecht Academy, but he barely played for the first team.
There I said, Brentford have lost 5 in a row.
Good.
Brentford, that's the thing too. Brentford, I've
I
watched
did
a few of
6.
the games. They're not a good team. They just I think the first game of the season,
Shit.
they caught us. We weren't ready. We had COVID issues. We had a lot of issues going in. We weren't prepared. And Brentford were like, "Oh, cool! It's our first game home. It's our
Newly
first game.
promoted.
We're at home. We just got promoted. We're in the big time. They have nothing to fucking lose. They're playing Arsenal, and that's it. And then I think we let the moment get the best of us, and they were like, okay, cool. Like we're just gonna go at them and see what they do. But I mean, yeah, this is like, I don't know which one of you guys said. One of you
Great
said this.
points.
This is a game you circle on your calendars and be like, oh, we're coming back to this team,
Mm.
and we're gonna. That was a fluke, and we're gonna really hammer them.
And especially all that
I expect
Marvin
to
off.
really-
Ivan Tiny was Marvin off, wasn't he? Marvin off after that and all. So
Yeah.
you
Tony.
you
Yeah.
circle that. I don't like Ivan
Yeah.
Tony. I know a lot of people like Ivan Tony, and I think he's
Do you see you see what he did in social media? He was with some girl, and they were like saying "fuck Brentford." Like you're an idiot. Like what are you doing?
Listen. She was quite
All over
fit,
social
right?
You know
She was
what he
quite
doing,
fit.
right?
She
You
was
know what
quite
he was
fit,
doing.
right? And she was like,
Yeah.
she was like, "Fuck Brentford," and she looked at him, and I could see he was thinking
He's like, all right.
he's thinking like, I've got a chance of getting on the nest here, so I'm just going with it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, come on.
Yep, definitely. Why not? Feels like we're going to hand out some gifts, but hopefully we're not going to do that, Gary.
No. We don't. The only gifts we give out or we take are cards. So, and they don't necessarily end up in losses all the time. So,
Like last night, I told Mark over on Lolo on the Stip. I told Mark, we're coming for those 3 points tomorrow. We picked them up today. We picked them up, those 3 points. So
Oh, definitely. And this is the thing, though. The team needs to play like, you know what? Brentford was that's not Arsenal, and that's not how we play. That's how the way we should be coming into that match. We're playing at home. The fans will definitely be on them, right? They definitely will be on them, and not today. Not in our house. I'm sorry, but you're just gonna take this L, and go back home.
That was their first game in the Premier League, right? And we should have made it difficult for them. But we were like, "Yeah, come in, sit down. What would you like to drink? Would you like to order a starter now or wait?" We were
looking at our lineup. Of course, it was scratched together first game of the season, but the players that played tonight from that team: Ben White, Kieran Tierney, Granit Xhaka, Emile Smith-Rowe, Martinelli. That's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Five players played that night. Emile Smith-Rowe came on as a sub tonight. So
you see, I hear what you're saying, but
3 players don't even play for us.
No.
No, what?
I'm right.
We don't lose to Brentford the first game back in
I'm saying the players that were embarrassed that night will remember it. Only 5 of those were on the field. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And Ben White.
We had Balogun starting up top for us. It's like, come on.
I think Ben White
Hmm.
might remember the criticism from that game and have something
Yeah, he didn't have a good game. Yeah, I remember
on
that.
Tony.
Uh,
Just foreshadowing. Wolves at home will be a tough one. Gary's accepting nothing but 3 points
No,
at the Emirates.
they don't score. They don't score. Martinelli will be back. All right. So at the least, we're gonna have a strong bench. Right. We're gonna have somebody
Better not get
who'll
sent
come
off
off the
again.
bench. Right. So he might not play in that match, and like I said, I would like some rotation between those players, anyways. But he should be ready to play when he comes back, right? If he's gonna play. So yeah.
Stan, was he wrong? Question mark. Ivan Toney, a striker who can head the ball, hold up.
I don't
the right
rate him.
flag,
I don't
hit
rate
a
him.
pace, hit a barn door.
I just
But
don't rate him.
do we need someone like him now?
I just don't rate him. I just think he's one of those players that looked a little bit tasty in a league below, and he's come up and he's not really, for me, replicated the hype. Do you know what I mean? And he's got a bit of a big mouth and all.
Tony, this is what we're gonna have for the rest of the season. It's Panic FC versus Hold Your Nerve FC.
No food.
I think if we want to finish 8th place again, we sign Ivan Toney. I think he's a good player. He's not a great player. If he's not taking us.
If we finish 8th, we should be looking for a new manager, and whether he wants Ivan Toney or not will be decided then. But
yeah,
if we finish
Toney
7th,
would be
we
like
should be
a
looking for a new
replacement on
manager.
Nketiah.
I'm just saying, Ivan Toney is a middle of the pack Premier League striker. He's not going to get us
for us,
Champions League.
If we're going to
replacing who? Nketiah?
Yeah, but if we're going to be bringing in 3 strikers, he could be one of the 3, if that makes any sense. But someone like a Jonathan David or a Darwin Nunes, or it should be ahead of that. If he's going to make up part of the 3, I don't. And we ain't going to get strung out and have our pants pulled down on the fee because he's British. I could live with that. If he wants to work his way in and work hard and try and make himself a number 1 pick, yeah. But he shouldn't be where we're throwing the dart on the ball and saying that's the main guy that we need to get in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, not a bad run here. 5 games, 3 of them at home. Start with Brentford, put them to the sword. Wolverhampton Wanderers will be a similar kind of game, I believe, to tonight's. We should win it. And Watford are free falling. Then we got Brendan Rodgers at home and Stevie G away. That'll be a tough one, Villa, but they kind of bottled it as well against Leeds. Shout out to Leeds for
which means that they will allow us to score. Right,
goals in them,
we continue to put pressure on them. So
I think
goals in them as well, though, isn't there? I think Villa are going to be with Steven Gerrard. I think that they're going to have a little bit of an ascendancy at Villa. They're going to be better than what they have been with Stevie G. They might let some goals in, but they're going to be scoring goals. With the Leicester one for me is a worry because they kind of blow hot and cold. Sometimes they can carve it out and and they're at home as well. Other times,
kind of like Leeds.
Other times they just look so toilet. Yeah, they're like Leeds, Tony. Hard one to judge.
Is Lacazette or Nketiah doing the job? Question to the panel, I would have taken Tony in January. Is Laka or Nketiah doing the job? No, we know they're not. This is the margins that the club has chosen to take to do the right thing in the summer, and we're gambling. We are gambling between the top 4, but nobody really thought we'd be talking about top 4 in February, right?
Yeah, but we knew this in December.
What?
That we were looking like we could have an opportunity to get top 4, right?
But
all of the mess that's happened has happened since we've been in top 4. So going into the January window, if there was a chance that you could up the team and maybe make that push for 4th, you do it, right?
We went after.
I don't agree.
No, I'm saying you do it if you can find the players that you need. I believe the players were out there. Whether or not the deals were going to work out, that's what that's where we are today. But I feel like there were players that we could have gotten that we didn't. Players that we decided to look at too late in the window, like usual, right? We're trying to make deals in the last hour, and it's like, no, it's not going to work here. But I think there were players that we could have brought in. We definitely needed to bring players in. We definitely needed some depth somehow, some stop gaps at the least.
Yeah. Tony Turner over Ivan Tony. There we go. There we go. Presto play said it. Okay, let's go through Premier League. We don't have any games this weekend, so we're going to be sitting back and watching, hopefully, other teams implode. Ryan, Man United versus Southampton. How do you see that going?
I mean, it's talking about they're a team that's imploding at the moment. I think Southampton could score from a multitude of ways. They have probably one of, if not the best free kick taker in the Premier League in James Ward-Prowse. And what's that guy's name? I think he's on loan from Chelsea. Borja. He's playing well. They have a lot of interesting players, and I think they could keep Manu on their toes. And it's so weird trying to predict. I'm obviously, for many reasons, I'm so happy I'm not a Man U supporter, but they are, in my opinion, one of the hardest teams to just predict as far as like how they're going to play and how their results are going to unfold, because there's games where they look like world beaters in the first 20 minutes, and with a team that consists of Ronaldo, you'd think like, okay, yeah, they're gonna slowly win this game, but man, defensively they're just. I mean, when you have an $84 million striker, I mean, you would think they'd be one of the best defensive teams in the league. But Harry Maguire is just – and I said this, I've tweeted this a million times. Harry Maguire is my favorite non-Arsenal player in the Premier League. He's just such a joy to watch. And I just wish I'm 84 million. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. And I know United fans want Lindelof back in the team ahead of Maguire. Gary, Man United at home to Southampton.
He's the captain too. Sorry to cut you off, Ray. He's the captain of Manchester United. Harry fucking Maguire.
That's how much they dislike him. If you want to say Pepe was 72 million wasted, well, look at Harry Maguire, Gary.
Yeah. Bribes a policeman, still gets picked. You know what I mean? Bribes a policeman, still gets kicked. That's what I'm going to say.
Why not send him in and still looking for option B out there? One of the striker who scores headed goals.
The thing about that is we don't necessarily need that guy. We do, because we're putting in crosses because that's what the team gives us.
We need Oliver Giroud.
We need someone who can score from their head.
Yeah, but you know what?
We need Giroud back.
Teams will play us differently if we have a player that is good in the air. It's just right now we have nobody. So Lacazette does not pose a threat in the air. So if you're gonna play defensively, what are you gonna give up? You can get all the space you want on the outside. I'll let you cross all day.
Lacazette's as much threat as a lead balloon. Nothing there.
Presto play. Thanks for joining us. 16 to go. Should have taken a striker on loan, but if you look at the fixtures, we have so many rest days, like the bottom teams. Might just FC UK with the team being consistent. Yeah, you need some kind of rhythm, but
you have to be lucky though, right? That you don't have red cards. Well, we already screwed that up in the first one. You don't have injuries. I don't know. Did you guys? I mean, I noticed Gabriel early in the game grabbing at his, his stuff.
I saw that.
Hey, what? I didn't see this. What?
I saw that.
It looked like he pulled a hammy, but he was grabbing. He was just grabbing.
I thought he was doing like a Michael Jackson impression, like hee and grabbing his.
Erdegaard going down as well under the SAS challenge.
But but I mean, we just have to be, we have to be lucky in the sense that we don't get yellow cards, we don't get injuries, and we don't get COVID. And Leno got COVID, so usually they don't come by. They come in at least pairs, right?
Sorry, trying to tell us we had 3 strikes.
All three of them came to light. All three of them may have come to light in this one game.
Garth is 6'9", but you want to waste his squad place on basically a very, very tall player that doesn't
plan B. Sometimes you need a plan B for 13 million. You need something a bit different. You want to stick a big lump up front. Could be a good shout. We've got to replace 3 strikers. Remember, 3.
Presto play. We talked about possibly appealing this. I don't know. I've never seen it before. 2 yellows in quick succession. Gary, Man United, Southampton.
Yeah, I want some more joy this weekend. So
Yeah, let's-
who I'm going for. I would like to see that again. Southampton, what didn't they just play and win? So
Yeah, we'll beat Tottenham.
yeah. So if they can beat Tottenham, then they can beat United.
Southampton could be Gunnar's second favorite team if they go
That
ahead
would
and
be
beat
really.
United.
Who would not like to see that?
Come on, Theo.
I like me some Hasenhüttl
Yeah.
celebrating on the line.
You know what? The way that they played, United's going to get. Think about it, United. Yeah, that would be really good to see. I think United would give them opportunities. I mean, they looked. Yeah, that was Braga, right? Whatever his
Braga.
name is. Yeah, Braga
good
and
finish.
Adams actually played pretty well together. I think if that's Adams. Yeah. So
Okay.
Walcott to score a hat trick. Alonso or
Mhm.
Stan? Who's next? Man United, Southampton. We're
Okay,
getting up
Stan.
to your corner. We're getting up to the Russia, the corner of Russia up there.
In
So yeah,
Ukraine.
I'm going. I want the upset special. I'm going for Southampton. I think that we beat a team like Spurs, who are just wannabes, right? They act like contenders sometimes, and sometimes they don't. And it seems like Man United are going in the same direction. So it'd be kind of cool to see Southampton beat Man United.
Stan?
They've got problems, didn't they, at United? They've just changed their manager. Nothing seems to really have changed. They are dropping points. So long may it continue.
Pepe looks gone soon. We need an attack as soon as possible. No strikers now. A winger, no confidence. I'm hearing a lot of panic amongst Arsenal fans out there. It's only going to ramp up as we get closer to this to the end of the season and get close to the top four or whatever it's going to be. Tony, Man United, Southampton.
United has lots of inner turmoil, but they should still win this one.
Tony, the next one is the Who Gives a Crap. It's your feature game. Watford versus.
That's not what I call it. It's who gives a fuck game of a week. Get it right, right?
I can't curse. I'm contractually obliged not to curse. I'll leave that to everyone else. There's not much going on there. Brighton, Watford, we can skip over that one. Brentford, Palace. Jump in if you want to say something about how good Graham Potter is. Go on, Gary.
no, I'm not gonna say anything. Next.
Next, Brentford, Palace. Alonso, Brentford, Palace. Patrick Vieira's got it. He's going to kick Brentford more.
Yeah, because it's a derby game. It's also a derby game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'd say Crystal Palace is win that game.
Tony, Vieira's doing a nice job there.
Of course he is. He's done a good job everywhere he's coached. What's surprising?
No, I want to see him.
I'm taking a big path
One
away from Selhurst Park.
Stan, what have you got?
I think with both Patrick Vieira and Steven Gerrard, they're both auditioning for other jobs, aren't they? At some point, if things go the way that they should do, in a few years' time, Steven Gerrard will at some point go to Liverpool if it works out for him at Villa. And who knows, in a few years' time, if Mikel Arteta decides to move on, then maybe the natural selection would be a Patrick Vieira if he's managed to do well with Crystal Palace.
He's probably got a suitcase packed already.
Yep, by the door.
Yeah, and I believe Vieira has positioned himself to be in London, be in the Premier League, get that Premier League experience.
But Ray, he wasn't interviewed either time for a job. So,
But Ryan, what do you think of Vieira so far, Ryan?
I think he's doing a really good job. I think he'll get a bigger team, a bigger shot in a couple of years. And I know people are saying fire Arteta, bring in Vieira, but that's like saying, oh, let's sell Granit Xhaka. But next thing you know, oh, Granit Xhaka, it's like a new signing when Roma didn't get him. It's another inexperienced manager. He needs more time. But But I do like what he's doing with the Palace team. I think they have a lot of young talent that are up and coming. It'll be interesting to see where he goes from Palace.
Progressing in the FA Cup as well, so that's good. I think they got a decent draw. Vieira has established quicker quicker than Arteta. True. I still don't want him anywhere near the club. I think Arteta was house cleaning a lot.
Can I just say as well, if we manage to get into the Champions League this season, with everything that's happened, with some of the decisions, the whole Aubameyang situation, all of the other noise that's been happening, you have to take your hat off to Mikel Arteta. Whether you're Arteta in or Arteta out, and especially if you are one of those that's Arteta out, if we manage to get into the Champions League at the end of this season, I would have to say that Mikel Arteta would deserve to have his contract extended.
Some will say, Stan, it's because United were so bad, it's because Tottenham were so bad, it's because West Ham were so
You
bad.
can only play what's in front of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You can only be the fourth best team this year. That's what we're striving for. Everton versus Leeds. Gary, Frank Lampard against Bielsa.
Yeah.
You know, Mr. Tom's comment. Is that what you know?
Yeah. I
Pick
thought
Leeds to make Mr. Tom
I like
happy.
that. Yeah, I like that.
Leeds. Yeah. Mr. Tom will be happy. Wait, where is it? Where is it, by the way?
It's up at Goodison Park. Frank Lampard, he's not really had that balance.
Yeah, I think I'll give it to Leeds, but you know what? If this is the Leeds of old, you never know what you're going to get. It's either going to be what we just saw, right, or it's going to be, a tough one for them. But yeah, and you don't know what Everton you're going to get, so it could be a really good game.
Leeds are that game.
Well, that's just a given. We've known that for years now, right?
Forrest Gump FC.
Everton if Arsenal's poorly run, Everton is really more poorly run than Arsenal. They've just not gotten out of their funk for years.
I always thought it'd be weird, like, you can't get DCL or Rich Charlison because they're going to want to keep them. And it's like you're watching them play, like, oof, maybe they might be available. So
That's Fat Frank now, isn't it? Fat Frank is classic when he has his interviews. Ever notice he'll laugh at something really dour and then correct himself. Like, he'll say something like, well, of course, I didn't want to go and kick the cat like Kurt Azuma. And he'll go, but obviously that's a really bad thing to do. He'll say something really light-hearted and rip the piss out of something, and then he'll pull himself back in and go, well, obviously I don't condone that sort of behaviour. His interviews are funny.
Why not? This is the long-standing discussion between Arsenal fans. Do we want to be in the Champions League or not?
Yes.
You don't get to choose if you can go into the Champions League and win it. It's what you have to do. You get your club in order.
The shitty Spurs team got to the fucking final. That's all we need to know.
Bringing that up, you got how many things you got on that list of yours?
It's long. Long.
I'm just highlighting a comment, okay?
You like that comment.
Everton, Ryan, Everton versus Leeds. I don't like that comment.
It's the clown show versus the freak show. I don't know. Probably it's the clown show. Fat Frank. What could you say? It's gonna be interesting to see what he does with this. But seriously, it'd be interesting to see what he does with the Everton team. Leeds don't have Calvin Phillips, so they're gonna get ship pumped. I think, if you ask me. But
Mr. Tom, I'm sorry, Ryan is not your friend.
It's like they call me Fat Frank because I love eating cakes, but seriously, obesity can give you heart trouble.
All right, you got to be nice to the viewers here. Mr. Tom is the lead.
All right. I think Leeds will get put away nice and soundly. I think
that's still wrong.
Oh, okay.
Everton.
Okay, 5-0 to Everton. Oh, shit, sorry. Okay. Anyways, I don't know what to say.
You lost your composure, Ryan.
It leads.
Usually,
No, and sorry to Mr. Tommy. I don't think Leeds are a good team. I don't even know how they scored 3 on Villa, but Villa have Emi Martinez in net. So actually, I do know how they hung 3 on Villa. But yeah, I don't know. I really don't care about this game. I think I don't know. I don't know why is Alonso, you talk.
I'm sorry, Mr. Tom. He was on the street. He was looking for a place to stay. He needed he needed three squares and a cot.
Mr. Tom,
He said,
Mr.
"Come
Tom.
on in." And
Ryan
Ray just brought him in to keep him warm.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
all.
Ryan is our Eddie and Kedia. We bring him on.
Ouch.
We're desperate.
oh,
Hey,
Ryan,
let
I'm
me
sorry.
At least be Balogun. Send me out on loan or something. Jesus. Come on.
Yeah. He'll relate.
Welcome
to
back,
Eddie and
Ryan.
Kedia. Mr. Tom relates to Eddie and Kedia. He liked him at one point in time, but he was useful at one point in time. But now, you know,
I will say one good thing about Leeds really quick. I really like their white jerseys. They're like
Black
an
dribbling.
off-white, the off-white, yellow, and blue. Very
is that
nice.
real in the back?
It's got it's the
Backpedal.
best you're gonna get out of me, Mr. Tom. You have nice kits.
Mr. Tom is a character. We will drop a backstage pass if you want to meet Ryan face to face.
Mr. Tom is the new Brownie, closet gooner.
No,
Closet
that's harsh. That's
always,
harsh.
always turning up in the Arsenal chats, though.
Well,
no,
yeah.
No. He's a friend, man. He's a friend
Yeah.
of the family, man. Come on.
An
Ryan's-
alliance. All right, he's an alliance.
Ronnie's different gravy, Stan. You know
We're
that.
forming alliances.
Have some
We'll talk
faith.
about
Hey,
Mr.
But
Tom
no,
like
seriously,
that.
though, if there's anyone out there that likes to have a little bit of a flutter, I'm not really a betting man myself, but you should check out Mr. Tom on the happy hour on the Lolo on the Stoop channel on Fridays. He comes up with some really interesting betting things that you can put
Parlays.
together. Yeah, and,
simulators, parlays.
and sometimes he gets them right as well. So if you like to win a few quid, have a look at them.
£1, €1, $1. We'll get you 20, 22, something like that. Poch is better than Arteta as a
He's
coach.
obviously not betting on Leeds to win, then I guess. Yeah.
When it's no longer fun, stop.
Yellow cards are included.
All right, I'm done.
You all heard about that.
Ryan, man, you're. Please be nice.
Mr. Tom started that Granit Xhaka thing against Leeds. Remember that, Stan? 65,000 or more. Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Allegedly. We have to say allegedly now from now on.
Allegedly.
no- Alonso, Norwich versus City.
Hey, you didn't ask me.
Wow.
You
So
took
of
your
course,
jacket and hat off, Tony.
Which one, Leeds? I'll get to you. Tom.
Leeds. So right.
Double
So I think Leeds will probably take this one. I really like Calvin Phillips. I think he played great with England over the summertime. And yeah, so
He's hurt. Lonnie, he's hurt. He's not playing.
I was
He's not playing.
You can say he likes him.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Okay.
so yeah. So Ryan, how long is he out for?
He's got. I think he actually has a calf thing. He I think they said early March, but you never
Right.
know. They say early March. He's back. Hey, Granit Xhaka. They said he was going to be back in February.
think,
He came back and started a game in mid-December. So I don't know.
Hey, but at least they'll have a finger, right?
I think Calvin Phillips should be the new Kieran Gibbs. I think we should have a story about Calvin Phillips moving forward every week.
Right. Okay. So, yeah, I think Leeds have enough to beat Everton.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going for Leeds to take this one.
All right, Tony, Leeds Everton. Better get to you or you complain.
Yeah, our matinee or double feature of we got 2 who gives a fuck games of a week this week. This one will be a draw.
Mm.
All right, we're gonna wind this up in about 10 minutes here, so we have to speed things up, Stan.
Cheers. Oh, thanks.
I'm not saying
You
you're.
weren't holding us back, Stan. We were
Yeah,
trying to
I
get it
know.
out of here.
No,
You're like dragging
no.
this thing out.
I'm
You
such a
can-
bastard, aren't
Fucking Conrad Stefanski's fucking shit up.
I? I'll keep it easy. I agree with what Tony just said, to be honest.
Not easy being a host, I'll tell you. It's not easy. You risk the ire of the other 5 people at any point in time. How much of this is verbatim from Berkham Wonderland, Stan?
Oh, word for word.
So Danny asked the same question.
This is actually the recording from a Burkout Wonderland. I'm watching TV. I'm watching Peacemaker and having me dinner right now.
All right, Norwich City. Come on now. Kick it up a
Business,
notch.
what, Norwich City, Man City. Is that what you're saying? Business
Yeah,
as usual.
Norwich.
You say want to get out of it quickly. Next. Business
I'll
as
do
usual.
like the old,
Next.
I'll do like the old Vidi printer. Norwich City 1, Manchester City 5.
That's it, yeah.
Remember the Vidi printer? Who remembers the Vidi printer?
I do. I remember one time when Newcastle won by
Brian
9.
doesn't remember.
Right, they won a game by 9, and they had the score. And next to the number 9 in brackets, they actually spelt the word out. It's like they were saying 9. Yes, 9. They got 9. They had the number and the word next to it in brackets in case you're like.
I'm sure
Yeah.
Mr. Tom remembers the Vidi
I
printer.
can't remember
as well.
who they were playing, but I think it was Blackburn or somewhere.
Yeah.
No.
Manchester City versus Norwich. We're not moving any faster, are we?
Man
Nah.
City. I think Man City like staying. Let's fucking move on.
It's like the Mandela effect in here.
All right. Tottenham versus Wolves. Yeah, you like that team, though, right? You like to talk about that team. Tottenham versus Wolves. That's a good one. Wolves can take their revenge out on Tottenham. I
They're
love
like,
it.
you're not Arsenal, but you're from North London, so we can, you know. Let them do that.
Yes, the
That's what we
Vidi
did.
printer
We
from
pissed them
France,
right
yes.
off to get up at Tottenham.
We want a draw. A draw would work best for us.
I'll
Why?
take
We
one.
won't-
I'll
why
take
don't we
one.
want-
No, Wolves 3 points.
Yeah,
Wolves
give
win.
them the points, man. Give them the points.
Definitely.
Wolves are not going to do anything down the stretch. I'm not worried about them.
Yeah, anyone
And
who
we,
said
and we want
Wolves,
joy. We want joy, and the only way we
No.
get joy is if that team loses.
Alonso, Newcastle versus Villa. The Empire has gotten out of the bottom 3, right? They're 17th now. Newcastle. That's the last
Right.
time you can see them in the relegation zone for 26 years.
You know, I want Villa to win because I don't want no Empire starting again like they did with City and Chelsea. So no, I want Villa to win. I want Villa to blow them out. Actually,
Yeah, that might well happen. Tony, Newcastle Villa. Steven Gerrard will want to get that win.
It's gonna be a draw.
Draw specialist, Tony. Tony's doing the pools. That's another reference that Mr. Tom will remember. Burnley versus Liverpool, Stan.
Why do you always come to me when it's business as usual? Business as usual. Next.
Sean Dyke, I thought you might want to throw something in there. There's a strong rumor that you're Sean Dyke. No.
I'm Sean Dyke. Ginger hair. Okay.
You
That's a
don't
new
look
one.
like him. I seen that guy on TV.
You know. I'm
Just
Sean-
don't open the closet with all your starburst in there, Stan.
As I say, I might be partial to the odd opal fruit, but I mean,
Opal fruits, yeah.
you know.
Mr. Tom said Newcastle will win. Coutinho will get an assist. And Bruno Guimaraes, he sees the future.
Bruno
Jumped
Gummy
on the
Bears.
bandwagon. Ryan, where do you stand in Guimaraes? Like, did he see Newcastle 3 years from now?
I think he's a good player. I think we could get better. I think we're going to get better, and I think while Newcastle is a very appealing project, I still don't think they hold any water to us. So I mean, if they want him, it's the same with the Weghorst thing. Like I was big on Weghorst years ago, where I wanted him to be our striker because I think that's just the kind of football we played, and I think he would just better suit us. And then you see him go to Burnley, and you're like, okay, yeah, so that we can get better. Because I do believe that when you see a team like Burnley getting him, you're like, oh, well, we can definitely get better than that. And I think players can kind of see that too. Well, it's like, well, if Weghorst went to Burnley, like, then
Yeah, but is it
you
a
kinda have to
case
compare.
though? Is it a case though that Burnley are kind of one-dimensional? But if we got a Weghorst, and as I say, we're going to have to bring in 3 strikers, it might give us variety. Doesn't mean that.
No,
we're gonna
I
play-
still
know what I mean?
want him to play. I still would for 13 mil if they offered him to us as a third striker. I would totally take it. But he's going to be the striker for a while. You know, with Chris Wood gone, like him and Jay Rodriguez are going to play in as a front too. So, more power to them. And I like seeing what other teams do in transfers and what players go to what teams, because then you kind of see like where everyone stands. Because everyone was all up like, oh, Buendia is going to make us a top 4 contender. We're going to be so good with him. And then he goes to the Villa and he's all right. Or said Bonrama. Oh my God, said Bonrama. He goes to West Ham, a decent team.
He's
fair.
been decent.
He isn't a permanent starter there. He's a horses for courses guy. He'll only start certain games. He doesn't start every game. And even then, when he does start, he gets hooked off in like the 60th minute. So, I don't know where I'm going with this, but yeah. Oh, Newcastle 4, Villa 0. Is it up to me? I don't even know.
I think something's going to start happening at Newcastle. You're starting to see it now. I mean, that free kick from Trippier. Oh, welcome. You can start.
I think they're going to compete with the Evertons. I at least not now. At least not in the first couple seasons. They're not going to compete with us. They're not going to compete with Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man U. They may surprise a few teams. They may surprise in Everton. They may surprise on Wolverhampton. But I don't know.
Listen, it wasn't. You have to remember. Newcastle were almost the second best team in the league at one point. I always felt that when they bought Tino Asprilla, who was a good buy and a good player, it somehow unbalanced them. It's a massive club, and I've got a lot of feeling for it. As you all know, my great grandfather played for Newcastle, and I've got to drop it in every time I mention my great grandfather. He is their most decorated player currently, still. For Newcastle with 3 league titles and an FA Cup, and no one's ever beaten that. And when I'm talking, that's before the First World War, and no one's beaten that yet. It's their time is going to come.
Yeah, mind the gap. Newcastle closing, stealing players. Newcastle will be a Chelsea, will be a City. We have to be a Liverpool. We have to be foot perfect. We have to bring our young players through, and we have to acquire decent players. And have a strategy where we don't.
But you can't even compare them to those teams because they have 80% of a league of a wealth.
I'm comparing us to Liverpool, and that's how we will be able to compete. That's the only way we can compete with a Chelsea, with a City, with maybe a Newcastle. We're not going to be able to sustain.
Yeah, but Newcastle has 80% of a wealth of a league.
Yep, I think we're saying the same thing.
Yeah, just that Tony's saying it with attitude.
He is.
I'm saying it with piss and vinegar, Stan.
Well, he has the troops at the border. He has the tanks ready to go. So
can I just answer you? Why not? He's asking me if you go to Google and you put in James Howie Howie and look it up on Wikipedia. That's my great grandfather. There's a couple of them, but he's the one who was also known as Gentleman Jim. Pre-war. So if you want to look him up, it's all there.
Tony, Burnley versus Liverpool.
Why do you ask such stupid things, Liverpool?
I got a shout out, mate. Here he picked Burnley against United, picked up some points. Gary did quite well as well with the Tottenham one. So why do
Liverpool,
I pick?
Move on. You're dragging this out, right?
All right, we're closing the show. Leicester versus West Ham. Tony, choose your words carefully because they will be your last for this show.
West Ham.
There you go.
Have you got a final thought, Tony?
I got lots of final thoughts, but
Well,
this has been a weird week for me.
Yeah, it's been a weird week for you. So hopefully you feel better, okay?
Yeah, no more vomiting for 4 hours after eating a gummy.
Alonso, Leicester City versus West Ham. And final thoughts.
So this is my upset. I think that Leicester City is due for a big win, and I think that Vardy seems to get goals at least expected, and I think Hellman's going to have a good game. So yeah, I think I'm going for Leicester City here.
Going for Leicester City. Mr. Tom is asking. We've already decided, Mr. Tom, when Leicester play Arsenal. that's when he'll be fired. So he's got 4 more games.
Yeah, he won't be on the bus or the bus ride back. So he's gonna have to find his own accommodations to get home.
Hey, Ray, so my final thought, right?
Yes, sir.
So yeah, I mean, I think that today, we should have been up more than just 1 goal. But I think at the end of the day, despite that red card, we kind of stood together as a team. And Robert Holding put in a good shift today. I think Ramsdale proved on why we took a risk on signing him. And I think Gabriel's goal was very, very timely. So I think that, I think, they got to stay strong and run the course and hopefully get top 4.
Yeah, I love the timing of the goal. It didn't come late in the game. We had to live off the nerves of leading 1-0 and not drawing 0-0, waiting for that possible Wolves goal that they hurt us. Gary, Leicester City versus West Ham, and final thoughts?
Yeah, I want a lot more joy, the same joy that we got this past set of games. I want to see it again. So, West Ham will drop points because we need it. Yep, I want some happiness. So yeah, and as far as final thoughts, yeah, Arsenal, say no to red cards, please, please.
And if you're struggling with that, Arsenal, just check out Stan's tweet or his timeline.
Yeah. So
Something about it.
yeah, we get to rest and we recover. And Tomiyasu, hopefully,
no more red, Stan. No more red.
Yeah.
Tomiyasu, Gary.
Hopefully, he comes back healthy.
Yeah.
Martinelli gets the rest. Maybe Pepe will get a chance. And maybe he'll have a good practice session and he'll get to play because that's usually how it works, right? So that'd be cool.
I will definitely do me Google's James Howie. That is really,
I just put the link up, but it didn't come up. You must have filters on or something like that. But if you just go to Google, put in James Howie, Newcastle footballer, it will come up on Wiki.
Yeah, I was able to find it. So let me see if I'll put it in there. So.
Tony wasn't nervous about the second half because he was stuck in an MRI machine. So, get better, Tony. Left the link in here for anyone who does want to come backstage. I will happily bow out so you can talk to these 5 gentlemen here. And Ryan, thanks for joining us tonight, Ryan.
5 gentlemen, then you mentioned Ryan.
And Ryan. There was a full stop there, and then I continued.
Freudian slip.
Sure. Not subliminal at all, Ryan.
I'll take the compliments where I can get them.
Yeah, we all do.
And Ryan, the bastard of a show.
I think the funniest was when Mr. Tom was like, "Who's this guy? Where'd you get him from?" Ryan's our new Eddie and Ketty over here. With all that,
I can't. I have nothing. I don't know what to say. I have no comeback for that.
I used to be poor, but then I started gambling at Arsenal, getting red cards, and you probably did quite well in the month of January, Mr. Tom. Yeah, Ryan, we headed in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, there's a plan here, and I've said it. I've been going into Twitter Spaces a lot more, and it's actually a lot of fun. But I've been saying it in a bunch of Twitter Spaces, and I really do think that Arteta and Edu kind of set a plan out when we signed our 6 players, and they weren't going to waver on that. And I think what kind of screwed up their plan a little bit was the fan base getting a little overzealous because we're in the top 4 race. But I think they kind of they stuck their ground and they didn't sign anybody. I think that's I don't know if it's the right move. We're gonna see. But
what is the point of this thing? We're not trying to move up the table.
What?
What is the point of this thing? We're not trying to move up the table, and then when we have an opportunity, take it. This is like
no, I don't agree because we're not bringing in loanee players because you're gonna hinder the growth of players that we have in the team growing, and you're not gonna bring in players just because of the sake of bringing in players. I think it's stupid. They have a plan. They're gonna do it. They're gonna go with the plan. I think it was a smart move. It's a very high risk. I shouldn't say it's a very smart move. It's high risk, high reward. I'm all in. I gotta be positive because if I'm gonna be negative like Gary. I'm gonna just hate. I'm
We
just
bring
never gonna watch
in
Arsenal
Nketiah
again.
on when we want goals. We're not high risk. That's like
It's very high risk when you have Nketiah coming off.
He's
the
not
bench.
going to
It's
score
very high
goals
risk.
for you. There's no risk there.
Well,
You get
whatever. We
nothing.
got 3 points, and I think we're heading in the right direction. It's just going to take time, and I hope. My only hope for this season is to just ensure more games for us next season. So whether that's Europa League or Champions, I don't care. Europa Conference, whatever it is, intramurals. I don't know what you want to call that, but I don't know if I want that. I don't know how I'll feel about that, but
No, we're not going that
we definitely
far.
need to get into Europa at the very least, and I'm excited because, like I said, the only thing I'm looking forward to is more games for this team to grow. Because again, at the end of the day, we're the youngest team in the Premier League, so I don't expect top four. If we get top four, then fuck yeah, that's awesome. But yes, thank you for having me on the show, and then just a quick shout out to the Arsenal women. We have a really big game tomorrow
Absolutely.
against Chelsea. Chelsea's in second place. We're in first place. So it's a huge game. I think it's on NBCSports.com at around 2:45 my time. I don't know.
Is it on tomorrow?
35. Yeah,
Okay.
it's on tomorrow. Big game. So yeah,
And
exciting.
amazing through ball from Medema to
Oh, that was whoo, that sent shivers down my spine. That was nice. That's it. Yeah, it was to our the girl we just signed, Black Goose or whatever. We just
Blackstenius.
signed her.
Blackstenius. Yeah.
Great.
All
Player.
right. Dropped. If anyone's brave enough to take the backstage pass, that did drop it. I will probably
I'll
drop
hang
it.
out with the gentleman and Ryan.
Come on.
Gentlemen, I'm going to bed. I'm an old. I got married now. I'm an old man. I gotta be in bed by a certain time, or I get the couch.
Congratulations.
Yes,
Thank you,
congratulations
Red.
on that.
Thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
congratulations, man.
You actually signed
Yeah.
up for a lifetime of bliss.
That was
Where
bliss.
his wife,
That
where
was
his
bliss
wife
with a,
just walked by.
that was bliss with a
You
B.
do know he married his unicorn inflatables. What he married, not
Yeah,
Megan.
the poop pillow was the best man.
Ryan,
Oh,
this
that's
team
fine.
won't be the youngest in the league forever, or will it, for some crazy reason? Probably the average age is
Maybe.
going to go down. You know, Jacques is going to leave. All that. Oh, you're saved. You're saved, Ryan. Mr. Tom is leaving. All right. Thanks, everyone, for watching live. Thanks, everyone, for watching on playback. And slap a like on the video. Subscribe if you haven't. It's free stuff, and you get to hear idle ramblings of 6 random people twice a week. What's wrong with that, huh? Take care. Until next
Yeah.
time.
Take care, everyone.